Alright, hello and welcome back to Fate Grand Order. Figure since I'm between games, it might not be a bad idea to take advantage of the Interlude campaign part 13. They added a bunch of new ones, but I actually have a handful here this time around. And don't worry about the Fate Requiem game. Well, I guess anyone watching here was watching a VOD, so in that case I could go ahead and show off that I did in fact complete the tokens here. Yeah, as you can see, I managed to get all tokens, and let me say, the RNG was really frustrating. I didn't even max the free Eris until after Eris? I wasn't able to max her out, the free event servant, until basically I had all but one of these. Guess that's how the RNG is, but yeah. The story of this event wasn't too bad, other than the silly werewolf game, but yeah, it was enjoyable other than a certain part of it, but the actual gameplay was a bit questionable. And don't worry about my AP here, I'll use apples if I have to. I genuinely don't want, I'm just glad the event's over for now. Alright, the Queen's question mark of days. We're going to do Lakshmi Bai's event first, because hers is probably going to be a lot less complicated. The Sherlock one is probably going to be last, because that requires a lot of explanation. Alright, here we are. Isn't that... Oh, hey there, how are you? Oh, Captain Neem. Feels like I haven't seen you in forever. I think you might be right. You and I are both a lot like Tuna. We always have to keep moving. Anyway, you've been here for a while now. How are things? Is everything going okay? Yes, fine. Everything's fine. Are you sure? Of course, really. Then why was she sighing earlier? She couldn't make it this easy, could she? I suppose that would make things a bit too easy, yes. Enjoying carrying out my missions here. You have nothing to worry about. What about you? You're the captain of the border, right? That's a lot of responsibility. I'm sure you must be very busy, not to mention under a lot of pressure, but please, try not to work too hard. Getting enough rest is essential if you're going to do your job well, after all. If there's anything I can help with, please do not hesitate to let me know. Well, you probably shouldn't entrust me with anything too mission-critical, just to minimize our risks. But if you have any simple tasks that won't mess everything up too badly if I fail, I can help with those. Yeah, long story short, Lakshmi Bai has the blessing of both the goddess of luck and the goddess of misfortune from, I believe it's Hindu lore? So yeah. Especially if they're the kind of troublesome jobs you have to run off onto someone else anyway. Well, I'll see you around, Captain Neem. It was good talking with you. Yeah, Nemo knows something's up. Then she just walked away. Yeah, she's definitely hiding something. Right, that's why I called you and everyone else here in secret. Alright, let's get this meeting of the Nemos underway. Oh yeah. One of our few friends from the original timeline is struggling with something. Where's we gotta help her? They're referring to Lost Belt 4, which is when Lakshmi Bai was introduced to the game and we learned Captain Nemo's true name. Agreed, I've analyzed the shared data. And I'm 99.99% sure something is wrong. How awful. Well, whether ailment is mental, physical, or both, we will have to help her cure it. So I guess we should start up by splitting up and looking... I can't remember the last time my room was this lively. True, given the way she was acting, I can't imagine she's going to just open up to us on her own. Unfortunately, I think we'll need to sneak around like a clownfish and gather hints as to what's going on around her. I wish we didn't have to do this, but I have no doubts we can pull it off. Totally, we got this. We're already anywhere and everywhere, after all. I'll use her regular physical as an excuse to see what I can find out. If I see her with a Slippius, I'm sure she won't suspect a thing. Maybe some yummy bread will loosen your lips. I'll bake up a batch, find out. Cookies might help as well. If the baker... Yeah, the baker should know... A baker should know how to make cookies, not just bread. As well as donuts. And donuts are delicious. I got my hands full with the engine room here, but I'll keep an eye out for her if she happens to drop by. Yeah, just look at how many of us there are. Even if we each only find a small piece of the puzzle, I'm sure we will be able to see what's going on once we put them all together. I'll keep a casual lookout out for anything else myself. If you don't mind helping out, that would be great. Don't worry about trying to find out all our secrets like some sort of spy. A solid lead would be more than enough. Indeed, Lakshmi Bai may be earnest and strong-willed, but she's nobody's fool. If we can figure out the general idea of what's going on and present her with enough incontrovertible evidence, I believe she'll give up on trying to keep a secret. Yay, we got this. Alright then, let's get Operation Find Out What's Bothering Lakshmi started. Anchors away. And for anyone who doesn't play, the reason there's so many different Captain Nemos is because his special ability is to split himself into multiple copies. That's how he keeps his submarine running. I've actually read the book 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and it's a pretty good adventure story. Jules Verne was my favorite author for a good while. Might still be, but it's been a while, so I'm not sure if I can... I haven't read them in a while, so I'm not sure if I can confidently say he still is, but he's definitely up there, even if he's not. Everyone's following her. I'm sure she's not going to escape noticing. Inside the environmental simulator. Isn't that... Hello, Master. Perfect timing. I can tell from the look on your face that you're wondering what's going on. Come hide over here and take a look. It's Lakshmi. Yes, it is. While you're at it, take a look at who's all the way over there as well. Flower crowns. Tried to make some, but we just couldn't get them right. So if you know how, we were hoping you would teach us. Of course, I'll be glad to. Shall we make them together then? Yay! Finish! I did it! You sure did. You both did a wonderful job. By the way, where's little Alter, me, and Jack? They both had something else they needed to take care of. See? Well, I hope you'll teach them how to make flower crowns too when you get the chance. You bet. Next time we're all gonna make them together. You see that? Did you hear it? That expression on her face that so clearly conveyed a wealth of complicated feelings. There's gotta be a hint in... Wait, who's that? Wait, who's approaching the target? Oh, Jean, my beautiful saintly... What? You can't put anything past me. I've heard that languid, meaningful sigh, clear as day. Oh yes, one of my special skills determining exactly what you're thinking from even the smallest gesture. How else could I be there for you from morning till bedtime every day? One little cough, and I know to run the nearest vending machine to purchase ice-cold can of cola. One little stubby toe, and I know to bring the pebble responsible for the enhanced interrogation. That's who I am, and that's... I thank you. Oh, don't be ridiculous. As I said, you can't put anything past me. That being said, as my eyes and ears are focused solely on your every move, I have no idea whatsoever what you were gazing at. But I can certainly tell the reason for your sigh. You were jealous, weren't you? I don't know what you're talking about. Looks like he was on the money, although he has the wrong Jean face. Anyway, listen to me. I don't know how many times I've already told you this, though I suspect it's a lot, but you have the wrong... Oh, yes, I'm well aware. Now that you mention it, you do look rather tomboyish today. Nothing wrong with that. I think it gives you a very healthy glow indeed. Even after all this time together. But you still find ways to be charming. Really, my Jean, you are a wonder to behold. Speaking as a hapless passerby, I encourage you not to pay this man any attention. His eyes are all but useless. Yeah, Saber there knows exactly what the deal is. I think I mentioned before, but my first thing for the Fate series was Fate Zero. Moved on to Limited Blade Works from there. The adaptation of Unlimited Blade works from there, and then from there I just stretched on to other stuff, including this game. And yeah, he, once he sets his mind, Irisvale showed me that you can get rid of him with this. Peace sign? Good luck. For a moment there, I thought I sensed the presence of a new Jean. Well, no matter. Back to the concept of slum Jean can be found in such abundance here is one of the best things about Chaldea. Now then, Jean, your laments are my laments. If there's anything you cannot help, be envious of, please, whatever you desire. Tell me what I can do. What? Whatever you desire, I'll find it. Even should be the blood of her. Ah, God, stop creeping on me. Imagine this is gonna be a fixed one. Yeah. Yeah, I'll go with the basic one then. At least it's kind enough to let me use my Grailed version. Oh, I can't use my... Well, that's fine. If I want NP and stars, I need this. Yeah, see, that almost got me a full NP bar right then and there. Knowing he still has those old, outdated caster animations. Well, whatever. I'll save her invincibility for when he uses an NP, but I don't think it's going to matter. We'll go with a quick Brave Chain here. I'm gonna have to try some more solos with Lakshmi Bai a bit. I've heard she's actually quite decent at those. Let's go with the full 100% then. Her damage is pretty low, but she has no shortage of good stuff to offer, at least. Since she's kind of a jack of all trades, of having both the party support and some AoE damage, she's kind of weak in all of them. Although I'd say she tilts a bit more towards support. Yeah, I'd say her support is actually at least decent, if not good. It's just that her damage is a bit lacking. But she's still fun to use. And that's what matters, right? Oh, now I get it. This is what the peace sign is for. Double eye poke. Oh, that's it. To recognize Jean's special eyeball poking maneuver anywhere. Knew it. I knew you were the real Jean in brand new form. It's been so long since you showed up. I think I'm starting to see what's going on here. Since we're here and all, why don't we go talk to those children over there to confirm my hypothesis? Miss Jean might not be here anymore, but I'm fairly certain Lakshmi Bai was more focused on the children anyway. Hey there. Oh, hello, Master. Hello, Nemo with glasses. What brings you here today? Making flower crowns. Want to join us? I would love to, but I'll have to take a rain check. Right now, I have a question I was hoping you could answer. You two ever played with Miss Lakshmi Bai? You mean the lady from India? Part of it's she's a little hard to approach, since she always seems kind of upset. But of course, we've still invited her to play with us or join us for a tea party a number of times. When she happened to be nearby while we were making plans. But she always said she was busy or had something else she had to take care of and turned us down. Yes, I see. Thank you. That's basically what I wanted to know. Good, I'm glad we could help. Okay, Master, let's go after her. She won't be able to pretend nothing's wrong now that we've got this much information to confront her with. But I think I'll call the captain and let him handle this part, just to be sure. You'll need to be able to ramp up the pressure for these sorts of things, after all. Of course, the glasses go opaque when they're up for something. your dialogue. She seems to be worried about something. Maybe I should go talk with her. Oh my, if it isn't Master and Lord Nemo, please make yourselves at home. We just want to speak with the lady with the perma frown over there. Oh, there, Lakshmi Bai. What you reading? Huh? It's, here. Communicating with subordinates like a pro. Did you choose this book, Miss Librarian? No, I didn't. Lady Lakshmi there chose it for herself. Knew it. This confirms everything our investigation turned up. What are you talking about? Oh, don't bother trying to hide it anymore. You're having trouble communicating with others, aren't you? Alright, we got plenty of evidence to make our case, so I'd give in and cooperate if I were you. See, so that's why you were here too, Master. In that case, I suppose it would only be I'd only be embarrassing myself if I were to try and deny it any longer. Yes, it is true. Lately, I've been struggling with how to best get along with the other servants here. Not everyone, of course. There's some servants I get along with just fine. I'm guessing she's referring to that part from the Amazonist.com tower event where she was getting along with the other soldiers rather well. I still sense a bit of a wall between me and everyone else, especially the servants who look like children. Why is that? That's just it, I can't figure out what the problem could be. I don't think I'm doing anything unusual, but my efforts to reach out never seem to go well. I'm well aware we are all teammates, newly formed comrades in arms who share a common goal, so I'm worried my inability to communicate with them could lead to a critical mistake on the battlefield. I have to do something about this before it's too late. Excuse me, but may I say something? I think I understand your concerns now, Lady Lakshmi. But is it possible your fierce desire to do something about this problem might be the very thing that's putting up a wall between you and the children? Of course, most of these servants who look like children aren't actual children, but like fish who blend in the surroundings, they still have the same sensitivities that real children do, ones that can cause them to put up walls if they sense something's amiss. Yeah, nursery rhyme is technically the embodiments of the children, well, the nursery rhymes. Personally, I'd have gone with an incarnation of Mother Goose for that, but whatever. And Paul Bunyan, well, it's not actually Paul Bunyan, it's just it's a servant created from udon in the shape of Paul Bunyan because, yeah, that sounds a bit goofy. That's because it's from a meme comic, more specifically, the Learning with Manga, a comic that they do to help promote this game. If you're unfamiliar, think of it like how Carbot does their animations to promote Blizzard stuff along with the other animations they make. It's basically that, but for this game. So yeah, Paul Bunyan's basically from the FGO version of Carbot animations, so that's why he's not exactly anything like the real one. In your case, it may be that your hard-ass disposition and tendency to get worked up are inadvertently creating a vicious cycle. Do you think so? I really thought I was going around with a gentle, inviting expression. Poke, poke. I think she's trying to check how rigid her face muscles are. She's poking her cheeks, see how her facial responding. I think you're at least on the right track, but I also think the root of this might be something you're doing subconsciously without realizing it. For example, are you taking time for rest and relaxation? Rest and relaxation, huh? Well, I do indulge in the occasional tabletop strategy game with Lady Quinn Lang Yu. I also sometimes use the simulator to go on horse rides and practice my swordplay. Yeah, Lakshmi Bai here is one of the few saber-class servants with, an actual saber sword. Which makes sense, because saber swords, I believe, were developed for use on horseback, which means it would have to be a much more newer servant. Oh, so that's a problem? I'm relaxing too much? No, I'm pretty sure that's not it. Hey, you always do seem like you're, well, on edge, much like many of the other warriors. I agree, we can almost feel this tension, constant focus, strong sense of responsibility radiating from you. I think the problem is, you become so used to living like that, that's become second nature for you. You know, you can usually tell when someone spent a lot of time on the battlefield just from the way they behave. I think that's kind of intimidating, or you're just always... unconsciously projecting. That would make sense. I mean, even the stuff she lists are pretty clearly, they're still tied back to her life as her previous life as a soldier, since strategy games are usually games about war and horseback riding. Well, as I just said, she actually has a saber, which means she's used to horseback riding and combat on horseback. That might just be what's getting in the way of your attempts to communicate. I see, but if that is, yeah, what can I do about it? Well, you're just gonna have to let your hair down for real. Yeah, I think you need a breather, both in the figurative and literal sense. I think that means we're going to have to. Well, I think the best way for everyone to relax is to learn from our example. You have to have fun to get through long voyages, so we're all total relaxation pros. I bet you'll be way more approachable once you have some real fun to learn. Lighten up. You think so? In that case, I would certainly be willing to give this a try, but I still have one concern. Just make sure you do know that I'm currently under the Goddess Misfortune's protection, right? Of course I do. Do you really think that would be a problem for us at this point? I saw what it's like plenty back in the Indian Law Spell, so I already know what to expect. I see, then I'm happy to learn whatever you're willing to teach me. In fact, I've made up my mind to help myself become a truly excellent communicator. I'm going to relax, have fun, and as hard as I possibly can. There, right there, that's kind of fierce determination exactly what makes her so intimidating. Poor Murasaki. Archer, oh dear. That being said, we aren't experts when it comes to having fun either, so I decided to call in a professional fun haver just to cover all our bases. This is who I think it is. Oh, no, it's not. Ha! If it's fun you're looking for, you've come to the right summer, Ushiwakamaru. Yeah, I was expecting, Janako or, Osakabe Hime, but Ushiwakamaru is definitely the better option. So many games we could play. Hide and seek, climbing trees, red light, green light. This is going to be great. I never thought about playing, read, training. I did in the mountains would be so useful here, too. Mr. Tengu, Master Tengu. They're already enjoying themselves. Oh, I'd rather you actually didn't say that. It reminds me of my mentor telling me, how dare you try those unrefined techniques on me, right before he'd knock me upside the head. Thank you for your tutelage, Lady Ushiwakamaru. This is all very new to me, but I will do the best I can. I'm glad to see you're taking your fun so seriously. That being said, I think I see what Nemo meant when he told me that you're too honest for your own good. That's exactly why I called you in, to do something about that. You're an expert at having fun, right? I look forward to seeing what you've got. I know the dock's a pretty big place, but is it really okay for us to use it as a playground? The simulator can only do so much when it comes to physically active play. Every sailor knows that when you're out at sea in a long, dull voyage, it's important to go out on the deck and get enough exercise to stay in shape. And here at Chaldea, we can't just have a ship with a deck. We don't just have a ship with a deck, we also have a dock that it's docked in. That said, I wouldn't recommend playing hide and seek in the ship's engine room, not unless you want Nemo Engineer to throw a wrench at your head. I might be the ship's captain, but trust me, those things hurt more than my fists. Of course, every good game needs rules, so make sure you all follow them. And with that, let's get these fun times started. Now, what to play? We have a good number of people here. I know, why don't we try the modern version of tag you taught me, Master? What was the one you called again? Oh yes, Cops and Robbers. Ah yes, that's a mix of tag and hide and seek in one glorious game. Sounds to me like someone's pretty confident in his chances. Now that's what I'm talking about. Okay, Master, would you mind telling everyone the rules? I see, so it's a team battle, functionally. Sounds like fun! I'd only be a liability for whatever team I'm on, so I'll be the referee. Well, Lady Lakshmi, are you prepared to have fun? Not to worry, I understand exactly how this works. Symbolizes the endless struggle between the authorities and lawless criminal element. In fact, the efforts made to apprehend these robbers can be all for naught if they are freed from prison due to a lacking security detail. Makes this game the perfect way to learn about the difficulties of enacting laws and practical realities of law enforcement. Looks like we've got our work cut out for us. Believe it or not, this is not the first time I've heard that interpretation of the game of Cops and Robbers. Well, I guess that's kind of the thing. I mean, even since Nemo's here, there is some discussion about what 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea is supposed to represent, but at the end of the day, you could just accept it as an adventure story and nothing more, and that's what makes it a good story. And I'm sure the same could apply to something like this. At the end of the day, it could just be a fun little game kids play, and it can end there, and it's still good. Anyway, say we get started. The fun's not gonna have itself after all. Ah, I really think you outrun Tengu. I'm gonna get you. Hold it. There's a game going on today. This cat's gonna come out to play. Now that I've decided to join, this cat's gonna lead her team to victory. The ultimate technique. Get ready, because here comes my cat clone. What kind of trickery is this? Then again, I guess I could do something similar myself. At any rate, if that's how you want to play, I'll just round up the whole lot of you. Cover me, Lady Lakshmi. Understood, I'll circle around from the left. But that said, this is far too chaotic. Much more so than any battlefield. I thought I was fairly experienced when it came to commanding, but I'm a loss as to what to do next. Trying to predict your opponents to move? Poor thing, you've clearly never trained a cat before. What the? In play, whoever empties their mind is the winner. Understand, this is no mere game. This is a contest to see who can toss out the contents of their brain first. Cats are the truth of the universe. The truth will always be by humanity's side. Or at least, as long as you can still get your hands on cans of cat food. Indeedness is zero, nothingness, beginning of the entire universe. Doesn't matter. Or why was I hearing a cat's voice in my head? I don't know what to make of any of this, but I'm starting to enjoy myself. She just overthinks so much she ended up back at square one. I get the feeling things didn't quite turn out how I expected, but hey, important things are having fun. Oof. Exactly, having fun is all that matters. Go on, Lady Lakshmi, now's your chance, let your instincts take the wheel. Looks like we might finally have to get serious about making our escape. Should I make a run for it like a swordfish, or lay low like a flounder? Oh, isn't that... See, yes, perfectly clear. What a joy seeing Jean getting in touch with her inner child. Well, I, for one, am certainly not about to disturb her. However, as far as I can tell, her side would be significantly outnumbered. Oh, we can't have that. Jean shines brightest in battle when she's up against a fearsome foe, after all. I'm sure she won't mind if dear Daddy Longlegs helps her out a little bit. How wonderful it feels to do a good deed. Truly, no one understands Jean better than me. Now let's go ahead and turn this page. Dang, I'm getting flashbacks to the Forgotten City. Huh? Nicely done. You sliced the starfish monsters and they showed up nowhere like they're nothing. Hang on. Where's that severed starfish arm gonna land? I have a bad feeling about this. Ah, hit the ceiling so hard to turn on the sprinklers. And now it's... Ah, gross. I like regular starfish, but those things are abominations. Now they're sucking up all the water to increase their numbers. Oh, this is quite the unfortunate turn of events. Oh, damn it, I did it again. You know why this happened. It's gotta be that caster that looks like a Popeye goldfish, I swear. Hey, keep it down out there, will ya? Oh, shoot, the hell are those freaky things? You lot better not let them in the engine room, you hear me? Make sure you take care of all of them on the dock. Another set of sprinklers just went off, and with all that water making the numbers increase faster. Yeah, I know, it's just like one of those monster movies that got in the library. Well, hey, this kind of thing happens in Galdea all the time. Personally, I'd be happy to start a new game, training session, where I'll get my practice my sword play. Whatever happens next, I think we need to take care of these things first. Yes, you're right. I'm so sorry things turned out this way. These are archers, so let's stick to a... Borrow the NPC, Tamamo Cat. Let's replace Eris with, Lakshmi Bai. Just because it just feels right to bring the servant with you when you're doing their interlude. You don't have to by any stretch, but I like to. They're generally pretty easy anyways, so I don't expect it to be hard, but hey, also gives me a chance to show off Karna's Super Karna skin. Something also introduced in Lost Belt 4. I will start with Arash here. Oh dang, one lived. Oh, don't worry, Karna's got it. I might want to beat one with just basic attack cards, with face cards before I... Yeah, that way. Darn it. Almost took out 2. But yeah, now it's 3, and this means I can now use his NP for full damage. Oh my, that's a big one. Glad I decided to save the Vasavi Shakti for this one. Here we are. I'll go ahead and use the illusionary buff here. And there we are. My Karna is only NP1, but he's still really strong. Gotta love it. Lakshmi's over there. Got it. And here comes the peace sign. Ah. I got your call about the casting in progress. Is that the perp? So this is the villainous caster who controls mysterious monsters from space, huh? I'll interrogate him back at the station, thoroughly, right after I've picked up 2 of the station cafeteria's famous eel rice bowls. Thank you for your help, citizens. Until next crime. I like Mysterious Heroine Double X's Mega Man X looking outfit. Who do I sense John somewhere inside the silver armor? Oh, my beautiful stately me. Honestly, despite Jean being classified as a saber face, I don't think the two look similar at all. My apologies, I should have known it was only a matter of time to my bad luck. Ah, please, you have nothing to apologize for. It's an excellent workout. Never knowing what's gonna happen next is all part of the fun. As long as we enjoy ourselves, that's what matters. Oh, there's still a few left. Rah. What am I doing here, you ask? Trust me, you don't want to see what Ushi looks like, grinning while covered from head to toe in blood. Woof. So you'll just have to content yourselves with this adorable Kit Kat instead. Meow. Well, I know it didn't go entirely as planned, but what did you think of it? You know, I think I did remember what it was like to be a child again for the first time in a long time. Help me remember that it could be fun to run around mindlessly. I think this was a productive use of time. That said... Okay, stop right there. We have more activities on the agenda, so let's put a pin in that thought for now. Coming up next, we're going to experience the wonderful world of indoor games. Hooray! Lancer. Okay, yeah, this time I can put Lakshmi Bai in the front. She's fidgeting non-stop. Oh, don't tell me you're giving up when your training has only just begun. Oh, we do get to see Janako in the end after all. No, I'm not throwing in the towel yet, Divine Ganesh. I still have plenty of sloth left in me. Yeah, then kick back, relax your mind and your body. Try to keep up with my 100% maximum chill. Next, try crawling inside this year-round kotatsu up to your shoulders. Pick up a handful of dumplings, take aim, and toss gulp until they're all gone. Oh, she's eating them lying down. I don't mind being in a kotatsu, but there doesn't seem to be anything to do in here. You wouldn't happen to have, say, anything to read on hand, would you? Oh sure, help yourself to any manga or light novels to strike your fancy. Reading a book while snacking it up with healthy potato chips and cola, huh? That's what I call using your noodle. On second thought, never mind. Ah, hang in there, Lakshmi Ba. You mustn't practice with your sword now, no matter how much you want to. You're here to learn indoor leisure, the art of slacking. Come on, don't give in, keep these arms steady. I thought it might be worth trying a different way to relax, but I guess this one wasn't a good fit. You're amazing, Divine Ganesh. I can't believe you endure this kind of harsh training every day. I think you and I might be working with pretty different definitions of harsh. Still, praise is praise. That's right, the gods are great. Go ahead, worship at my feet. Then again, speaking as your host, I guess I have an obligation to keep my guests entertained. How about we play a video game next? That should be easy for you guys, right? Can we all play together? Oh sure, it's an MMO, so the more the merrier. Oh dang. Specifically a brand new co-op open world VR RPG. I think I know where this is going, and I don't think it's going to go well. Trust me, it's gonna blow your minds. I can vouch for that. Scion, Da Vinci, and I combined our latest technical experience to develop it together. It's still an open beta, so the mechanics might be a little rough, but I guarantee it's got the goods where it counts. Not to toot my own horn, but since I'm basically like the greatest gamer ever, they sent me a few dev kits because they wanted to help beta testing it. Well, be sure they actually take your advice. The last thing we want is another EA situation where they seem to apparently just not pay attention to any of the stuff. I guess I can make a quick story. I actually do know someone who was working as a playtester when when EA made Star Wars Battlefront 2, the new one, not the old one. Yes, the one that was famous for completely broken in everything except the cash shop. Absolutely. In fact, the person even told them directly, basically every single thing in the game was broken except the cash shop, but EA decided to still release it with basically nothing changed. Sadly, it's only a second or third degree thing, so I don't know the exact details. In fact, I have no guarantees that of anything, but I thought it was interesting. So don't worry, there's plenty of hardware to go around. Now let's play. Good game, huh? I've tried them once or twice in the rec room, but generally I stick to analog. Don't worry, the controls are super easy. Alright, here are your headsets. Since I helped make it, I'll stay here and monitor the game from the outside. Have fun. Yeah, they're going to go with the whole isekai thing. Here goes. Alright, is this going to be more Sword Art Online or Overlord? And I use Sword Art Online as a boring mainstream option because if I use half prints, no one's going to get the reference. Alright, here we go, I'll boot it up. Oh wow, this is surprisingly realistic. Feels just like being in the simulator. They must have used some technology from the simulator to make this. Well, I guess I could have also done .hack as a reference, but if I've learned anything from the Digimon Cyber Sleuth playthrough, no one would get that reference either. They must have used some technology from the simulator to make this. It would have been a big waste of time and resources to develop a VR game system entirely from scratch after all. And since this is all still in the test phase, I'm sure they've been taking shortcuts where they can. Hey, speaking of someone who's gotten into programming as of late, so copy and pasting code, it is not a bad way to go. If it works, it works. At the end of the day, circuit boards are just pieces of rock we tricked into thinking. Like, say, with that guy over there. Weapon shop owner. Welcome, remember you got to equip a weapon for it to have any effect. Ah, did you talk like a normal person? Oh yeah, basically Eric Bloodaxe's gimmick is that he's a berserker, but he can talk normally, he's just not allowed to because his wife doesn't like it when he interacts with other people. She gets jealous extremely easy, I think is the whole thing. That's just NPC, it's using a servant's appearance with base model. They asked a bunch of servants for permission to 3D scan them to save time and resources with asset creation. They're a little uncanny valley at first, since it's just a vanilla game AI under the hood. Once you get past that, it's pretty novel. But yeah, you really do need to equip some gear before you can take on the first quest. Go ahead and get whatever weapon you like. First round's on me. Welcome, what could it be? How about that bloody axe? Excellent choice. That'll be 3000 QP. Alex has been cursed. Oh dear. Maybe I should have gone with the bow. Then again, can't believe you went for the obviously cursed weapon right off the bat. Didn't know you were so big on challenge runs. Still, it does have an HP absorption effect to make up for the double damage you take. Well, I suppose I was the guy who beat Rykard without the serpent spear, so sometimes that's just how it goes. So if you play your figurative cards right, you might be able to make it work for you. Not sure what I should do here. Maybe you could try a weapon you'd normally never use. Experimentation is part of what makes video games fun, after all. I'm gonna try using a short sword and shield myself. That's a good point. In that case, I'll try the wand that lets you cast magic. It's very light. Not sure this is strong enough to break through the enemy's armor. Ah, that's okay. Spellcasters don't usually have to worry about close range combat anyway. Alright, now we... Oh dang, does this mean we can get a... Oh, hey, you guys are here too. Hey, speaking of Osakabe Hime, I guess I should have known she'd show up eventually. Ooh, and it's her summer outfit. I actually do like this outfit, but unfortunately she, I believe she reruns right before Castoria, so unfortunately I'm going to have to draw the line. You know? As nice as it would be to have a summer Osakabe Hime, yeah, Castoria is absolutely too essential. Wow, I got quite the party 3. I'm surprised the Indian princess agreed to join you. I thought the only kind of games you were interested in were the war games you play with Lang. I thought I'd try something new for a change. Hey, Ime, didn't know you were logged in too? No Tomoe today? Yeah, nope, just me. Yeah, Tomoe goes in as the other gamer of the group here. Surprised I didn't guess her, though. Well, when I was thinking of people, but then again, she's also kind of serious. So after all, she was a soldier just like, Action Bai. She just knows how to manage work and play better. And she was also a pretty major character as far as the backstory in Sekiro went. But never mind that now, I almost forgot. Look at that, Gachan. There, around the forest in the corner of your map. Whoa, this marker's for a super rare quest. I know, it's why I was in such a hurry. There's no way I can pass it up. In fact, if we all go together, the quest reward will be just as good. And more players will make it easier to complete. What do you say? I'm in! Alright guys, you know what now that you all have some equipment, let's get this adventure started! Ooh, just you wait, legendary drop, I'm coming for you. Yeah, but probably only has a 3% drop rate, so we may be at it for a little while. You know, traveling for its own sake is kind of nice. No march, no escape, just roaming. Oh, does that mean you're having fun? I am. I used to be so preoccupied with allies, enemies, what I should do, what I shouldn't do, what I had to do. Moving from place to place was always a tense and dangerous act that required constant vigilance. So I think this may be my first journey in life where I've just been able to take in the scenery and enjoy a pleasant small talk with my companions. Don't forget teaming up to fight monsters. True. It's also my first time waving a wand to summon spirits. Indeed, this has all been an invaluable experience. In my case, Nemo may have traveled on land before, but I don't think Triton has ever walked this far in life. Yeah, since Nemo is normally a fictional character, he has the power of the sea god Triton, son of Poseidon, in order to become a proper servant. So he also has some water magic and stuff. That's also why he's able to split himself. It's definitely novel, but I'm starting to miss my ship a little. I guess I'll just have to wait for an update where they add the ocean and underwater stages. I'm not sure that's the issue, although I wouldn't mind swimming as a mechanic. On a different note, I'm glad she's able to be genuinely enjoying this game. I just hope it's enough for her to learn to relax on her own. Yeah, hopefully the indoor play experts know what they're doing. Part of me worries they might be a little too expert, but for now, well, I'm just happy they're here to guide her. Hey, I think we found it. Let's see, quest info, rescue kidnapped princess from bandit. Well, that seems simple enough. I bet we'll get a reward from the king when we're done, then, shall we? So we have a beautiful princess, a villain threatening us for dastardly ends. Certainly clear the victim and villain is here. Well, even if none of this is real, I cannot let this depravity stand. Have it, scoundrel, my wand, and I will make short work of you. She's really taking the whole spellcaster thing. Wait, something's not right. And no one can hear you now, princess. Eek, stay away from me. What? I think someone might have messed up the casting. No, wait, I think they did this on purpose. Ours are all about subverting expectations. Well, I should have expected this. I mean, I was the guy who played near Autonoma, latter of which was on stream, and of course, the Elden Ring quests are pretty good at subverting your expectations in the worst possible way, too. Trust me, this wouldn't be the first quest I've done where you can just sense the devs toying with you. Got it in one. Well, well, you're still real pretty when you're bawling your eyes out, ain't ya, princess? I wonder how long you'll be able to keep up the prim and proper act. You know what I'm about to do to ya, right? Or are you princesses so sheltered you can't even imagine? Eek, stay away from me, I know what you're going to do. You're gonna do something terrible. The kind of terrible things Zeus or Poseidon would do. What does she think the Greek gods are? I gotta say, hearing Anastasia talk tough is kind of refreshing. Save the commentary for later, though yeah, it's kind of hilarious. Okay, this might not be quite what we were expecting, but it's a quest, we know what we have to do. We'll be fine as long as we take the adventure approach to problem solving. Maybe I'll even show off what I can really do while I'm at it. Come on. Who the hell are you? Is you knights here to save the princess? Well, I ain't giving her up without a fight. Get him. We'll pay for. What a letdown. That barely qualified as a battle. Sorry guys, I guess I'm just too OP for the starter zone. Really, my only complaint about this game is the enemies are too weak. I need a good challenge. Really? Well, I hear FromSoft has some few ideas. Can't set the game to... Bachan difficulty. I'm pretty sure hardcore, but manga's where my Kokoro is. She, on the other hand, doesn't put a game down until she completely obliterated it. What can I say? I'm a champ of speedruns and time sinks. Of course I'm gonna get massively OP the more time I put into a game. My stats right now are all seriously godlike. There's not an enemy in the game that can touch me. I only hope they patch into hard mode with some new monsters. Good grief, nothing could come out. Oh, come of a god buying into your own hype. Just try to be careful and... Like there's an enemy left? Relax me, why don't you finish him off? I don't usually care to hunt down lone stragglers, especially when there's nothing to gain from them, but if this one means to attack us, I guess I have no choice. Alright, I'll call upon my spirit attack again. What's going on? Is that a random rare elemental summon? I've never seen that in this game before. P5 someone's been playing too many games. Why does she sound like she just climbed down a beanstalk? Mother, what are you doing here? Oh wait, what am I saying? It's just a game, so it's gotta be one of the dev's sick idea of a joke. Can't be anything else, right? I'm surprised she agreed to let them use her image, but it's still just an NPC that looks like her, right? There's nothing to be afraid of, aha! Mom, try this on surprise. Whap, whap. No way she'd ever think to try that in person. Wait, something's not right with my wand. It's not in casting. Bye, Popo. Somebody's here. Ah! What the hell? They just keep coming! Yes, hi, I have an emergency admin report to make. Our code is bugging out. I repeat, bugging out. Unimplemented NPC data is being automatically duplicated as combat-capable enemies. As far as I can tell, somebody's divine aura created some kind of magecraft-based link between the game and the simulator. So the situation you're experiencing is now half game, half simulation. It's possible the negative magecraft feedback your avatar experience may result in negative effects on your actual spirit origin. So in other words, the damage is real. Unfortunately, the force logout command isn't working right now either. I'm working on fixing it, but it'll take some time. Of course. It's another holodeck, everything becomes real. You're just gonna have to hang in there until I've dealt with it. I did again, didn't I? I know I said I wanted a good challenge, but I never asked for some kind of nightmare mode. Osakabe Hime Archer. Oh, right, it won't let me do that. What I can do is put Jason here, and then Lakshmi Bai in front. Fatal Battle. Parvati's.
一気火星に畳みかける。つまり連中だな。他にやることな。こういうのどうだ。女神の力を共に戦おう。これ以上好きにさせるものか。いい指示だ。
Here we go.
紡がれし歴史、営みの記憶、誇りの母体。
Here we are. Do the trick. I probably should have swapped Arash for oh, there we are. Yeah, for Scotty, but that's fine. Definitely a lot of love was given to the Lost Belt 4 servants in this group of interludes. Here we are.
我が背にあるは国なり、尊き民なり、守らねばならぬ。
Oh, the voice line cut out. Well, either way, that was pretty easy. I won. Oh man, that was the hardest won victory I've had in forever. Also, am I imagining things? Were they all just going after me? I mean, I know I've been slacking off my guns for a little while. Okay, a long while, but still. There you go, mission complete. I finished debugging the code as well. What do you want to do now? I'm sorry, everyone, but I think we better end the game here. Hey, good idea. I've worked up a cold sweat while playing a game in a long time. Again, I am sorry. Well, Lakshmi's really taking this hard. She sprawled out, face down on a desk like a kid in detention. Should have known it was no use. No matter where I go, I can't escape my bad luck. I can't go around making trouble for everyone like this. They'll be better off if I just keep my distance unless absolutely necessary. Why, I can't bear to see her like this. It's so sad. It's okay, at least now we know what the problem is. And now that we do, the captain won't waste any time doing something about it. True. Got to be a pretty decisive to captain a ship. Can I talk to you for a moment, Lakshmi? Not right now. Oh, not right now. Some other time. It's about the problem you're dealing with. You're the commander, right? When there's a problem with your army, aren't you supposed to analyze it? Well, yes, of course. But what problem of mine are you thinking about? Well, the biggest problem is the fact you're underestimating us. What do you mean? Glad you asked. Mentors, would you mind telling her what you thought of today's events? Today's events? I thought they were a ton of fun. I certainly didn't plan for a game to go the way it did, but that's exactly why it's so unforgettable. I mean, I was taken aback having to fight multiple main mothers. But as far as game experiences go, that was some of the most fun I've had in a while. Didn't see that twist coming, that's for sure. I did definitely do some stuff I could never have gotten away with in person, though. So maybe you could keep everything I just said between us? Okay, thanks, bye. While we're at it, I can tell you had a lot of fun too. Now do you get it? That bad luck and misfortune you seem to think of like it's the end of the world just makes things more interesting. Think about it like this. Think your bad luck means the best thing you can do is keep some distance between you and your friends here, but that doesn't mean you hate the goddess giving you the bad luck or that you want to get rid of her. Wouldn't you agree with that? Yes, of course. I'm grateful to her. I couldn't be here now without her. Thanks to her, I've been able to fight as a servant. There's no point in wondering about how things could be different. I'm here now, and that's what matters. Exactly. You accept your bad luck as an intrinsic part of who you are, correct? Well, it's exactly the same for us. We accept as part of you, too. And that brings us back to what I was saying before. So I'm hoping you'll have faith in us rather than underestimating us. Or are we so weak you can't bring yourself to do that? Didn't mean... We all know this is who you are. It's okay to be yourself. In fact, that's all you really have to do. Yes, I see, you may be right. Until now, I've only seen my misfortune as a problem to be managed. Something to be carefully kept in check to ensure it doesn't hurt or make trouble. Maybe that's not right. Maybe there's more point to it than that. Maybe it's one more thing to keep me connected to all of you and all of them. She also made good use of it in Lost Belt 4. I am getting some profound words of wisdom from my inner Ganesh, who, need I remind you, hails from your homeland as well. He says, bad luck and good fortune are two sides of the same coin. And that's not even getting to the various interpretations that say Alakshmi and Lakshmi are two different aspects of the same goddess. I suppose you're right. Good fortune or bad, you need to be alive to experience it. Yeah, Alakshmi is the goddess of bad luck, Lakshmi is a goddess of good luck. Some interpretations suggest they're the same person with just different aspects. Some suggest they're just directly sisters. I certainly wouldn't fret about my bad luck if I weren't here in the first place. In fact, thinking about now, luck was never much a part of my short life for those around me. We simply didn't have the time to think about whether our luck was good or bad while we were desperately fighting for our lives. But now you do? Yes, I do. In fact, I think I've just realized something. My experiences with both good and bad luck now may themselves be something to be grateful for. I think I may have been so overtly focused on achieving results I may have failed to see that, even though it should have been obvious. Hey, don't beat yourself up. I heard how you were especially unsure about how to get along with the kids, and that's not the kind of skill you just pick up overnight. Honestly, in my case, I'm not sure if I have it at all. Once lost a child of my own. That loss was one of the things that drove me to rebel. Still, I did go on to adopt, and my relationship with my adopted child was fairly good. But I suppose that doesn't change much that we didn't get to spend much time together. Thinking about it now, that was essentially my first time struggling to get along with children. Given how little experience I have with them, I guess it's only to be expected. You're trying to figure out how to relate to all sorts of people outside the battlefield now, including children. And you're doing so well while dealing with not a few luck-related issues. You're doing things you never got the chance to do back when you were alive. So no wonder you're feeling lost. It's okay. There's no need to rush to find an answer. I suppose I have a ways to go even when it comes to understanding myself. I should have never been so presumptuous as to think I could fight as well as anyone else. Really, it should have been obvious what would happen if I rushed in battle without underestimating my side's capabilities or disposition. Excuse me, may I say something? I've got an idea while I was listening to your discussion. I'd like to make a suggestion. What is it? Lady Lakshmi, have you ever considered keeping a diary? A diary? What's that? It's an empty book meant to write down all of your inner thoughts and feelings in. It's like keeping another version of yourself around that you can look at more objectively. They're great for helping you reflect on the events of your life and can be a tool for understanding yourself better. And with that deeper understanding, it becomes easier to think about how well you relate to people around you. Your writings can be as short and simple as you like as well. Why not try it out and see how it feels? Lady Lakshmi's diary, huh? That sounds like it'd be fun to read. I can't wait to read all about the new and inventive games you come out with. In the meantime, I can't wait for our next game of Dock Monsters. Hold on, are we supposed to let other people read them too? That's difficult to say. Speaking as someone who's only recently found out her own diary has been read by a shockingly large number of people, I'm not sure I'm in a position to offer an objective opinion about that. I believe that's because Murasaki's diary was eventually published and released to the public after she passed away. Well, if you're going to be writing stuff for other people to read anyway, why not try an experimental social media platform DaVinci and Scion have made along with a VR game in their spare time? I think they call it Servantgram. A Telegram parody. But yeah, social media is another way that people do that, although not everyone seems to realize those things are public. I used to, when I was really, really young, I did try to keep a diary, but I wasn't able to keep up with it. Well, no, I kept up with it for a matter of months, but I guess it wasn't doing much for me, even when I go back and read it. I'm not sure. Or did I read it that much? I guess it's so long ago, my memory is just too much. It's, my memory just can't recall it. I do remember I fell out with doing it, but I don't remember why. I don't remember if I stopped reading to it. I don't remember if I simply forgot. I don't remember if I found other things. This is the first time hearing of it as well. Well, they do say there's strong consistency. Perhaps I'll be able to keep writing if I know what other people are reading it. Alright, I've made my decision. I will give it a try. I think it's a good idea too. I've long known how important ship logs are, after all. Rereading them can give you a different perspective, or even lead to new discoveries, and there's a lot to learn from reading other ships' logs too. I can say, going back to some of my previous VODs, that I've... Sometimes it's interesting seeing how my speculation played out compared to what actually happens, or how my thoughts on something will change as time goes on. In fact, it's pretty common for me to have some final thoughts on a game, and then at the start of the next game, I've already had some new thoughts on it. And sometimes I'll have no idea what I was talking about, like, and at the end of Burden of Proof, I don't know what I was on about when I was suggesting new stuff from all that universe. Obviously, I want the protagonist to finish their story first, but... maybe I'm just not the kind of person who's great at off-the-cuff, impressions, and I'm better off giving some time to let them sink in. Or maybe I'll simply get better as I continue doing it. Hard to say. Indeed, Captain Nemo, I now know that our initial goal of finding ways to help relax so I could form better relationships with other servants here is something I'm not ready for just yet. First, I need to think about how I can better relate to others in a way that's more true to who I am. And as you said, to have faith in all of you. Thank you for helping me realize this, I do appreciate it. Worry not, I'll keep doing my best to get by, in my own way. That being said, I do think I have a better idea of how to relax now, or at least a little. So, Lakshmi Bai began posting diary entries on Servantgram. To form, they were earnest, polite, devoid of any excess dramatics, no nonsense, just the facts. And yet, in spite of that, or perhaps because of it, her account became surprisingly popular, though her followers gave very different reasons as to why. One servant said Lakshmi's posts always cheered her up, another said they had a way of getting him to look on the bright side, another said they were perfect for seeing which way fortunes were flowing, and for making magecraft-based astrological observations. Following is an excerpt from an entry. Ooh, Tober XX. Today I played with the children for a bit. What's going on? Darius. Your bad luck does sound pretty tough. I'm sure that it's a lot of fun. Oh no, what are we gonna do? Do it again. My misfortune may still cause others trouble, but I've come to see it may not be so bad. Of course, that only applies to cases where they find it funny. I certainly don't want to get accustomed to shrugging off little troubles because the trouble I cause others. Still, these children are servants as well. I'm sure they must have experienced their own share of misfortune. I think that must be why they're strong enough to laugh off the bad luck that comes their way. I mustn't underestimate them. I need to interact with them and learn from them just as they are. Today I learned a lot. Today was my lucky day. Ooh, Tober XY. So today was lucky day. October XZ, and so the end, today was a lucky day. October YY, all in all, today was an... Oh, hello. October Z. Today I ran into two of my most trusted comrades. The ones who helped me realize something very important. Once again, today was incredible. Does that use my current outfit, or is it just that one because that's the main outfit your character wears during the Lost Belt storyline? The Legendary Hunter. These are quite interesting, I think. Actually, before I get into William Tell's, right into it. Wahaha! I like them apples. Gee, do you have a dinner? Actually, before I go into William Tell's, let me say a bit about Lakshmi Bai. Now, I can her profile goes on and on about her bad luck as well, and it does explore it here a bit for Interlude. I think they originally, when they wrote her, they intended her to be a member of the Jean sisters, that being Jeanne d'Arc, Jeanne Alter, Jeanne Alter Lily, the young girl version of herself, and join them with her bad luck being her main gimmick, but since she wasn't especially popular, they don't do that. She doesn't. My understanding is that even in the Japanese version of the game that's a couple years ahead, they don't really do much with her. In a way, that is nice that she doesn't get boiled down to her bad luck thing as a meme, and that's all, because some of the characters they don't know what to do with, the game does unfortunately have a habit of boiling down just one thing, like Thomas Edison had a nice role in the American Singularity, and even in the event story here for Fate Requiem, but anytime out of that, all he does is argue with Nikola Tesla about AC and DC and pretty much nothing else, and they don't really have any depth to their character beyond that. But at the same time, it is a shame that we don't see too much of Lakshmi Bai, but I'm still glad she got a pretty nice interlude like that. Oh, and if you're wondering as to why she looks like Jeanne d'Arc, it's because Lakshmi Bai, as in terms of a historical character, I keep tripping over my own words. Tricking over my own words. She is sometimes referred to as the Jeanne d'Arc of India, and so the devs took that as an excuse to basically make her into a Jeanne alt. Hence why my speculation is that she was intended to join the Jeanne sisters and be a regular character that interacts during events, but obviously that didn't end up playing out because she wasn't very popular. It's a shame, but I blame that on a few things, most notably being the one that was, as I mentioned, her damage is a bit low, and I think they intentionally held back on some of her kit, largely because she can actually work with Scotty real well, and during the time in which she was released, they were making quick-based servants. They were nerfing them so they couldn't loop with Scotty very well, and she's another person who suffered that. Hopefully they'll fix that in the future, but hard to say. Now, once Castoria arrives, they pretty much give up on trying to stop people from looping, so guess we'll see. Anyway, we're done. We're done with there. We need to move on to William Tell. You've outdone yourself. See this face, Moonerin? It's a face of a demon king of the sixth heaven employing the three-line formation. I tell you, even I didn't think I'd be just as badass as now as when I was alive, after becoming a servant and fighting in a simulator. I mean, I guess I always knew it deep down, but yeah, I was definitely a 1 in a million Warring States falconry prodigy. Put up a good fight, Murin, but you just couldn't quite measure up to my genius. But hey, don't feel bad, it can't be helped, you're a Daimo of Takio while I'm a ruler sent by the heavens themselves. I never knew Lady Nobunaga to be such a keen falconer. But I must say, she does not quite fit the picture my lord described. Still, I suppose there's little to be gained from dwelling on it. Yeah, be that as it may, Lady Nobunaga, it would seem we both fall short compared to Lord Tell. Don't say another word, Lala, I can't hear you. Wait, hang on, he's not part of our falconry contest. He's just shooting arrows willy-nilly. So I still won where it counts. I definitely didn't lose any kind of hunting battle here. I can't even see the mountain of game he racked up. Well, I'm a hunter by trade, so I can't exactly say it was a fair fight. Still, no reason you two couldn't have used bows too. Not sure why you insist on sticking to trained falcons. I have heard that hunting was a popular pastime among nobility out in my neck of the woods too, but I get the feeling that's not quite what this was about for you two. This is one of those refinement things I'm always hearing about, isn't it? Might be some wabi-sabi stuff. Gotcha. Anyways, it was fun to see how other people hunt. Educational as well. I just hope my own hunting style didn't get in your way too much. Worry not, I have long been looking forward to seeing your skills myself. And let's not forget, this was technically Nobu's idea. No, it wasn't. Tail there just happened to show up when I was inviting Mooner in on a falconry hunt. In fact, now that I think about it, you showing up in front of the simulation room right then seems less and less like a coincidence. Ah, now I get it. You basically tricked me into inviting you along. Cunning, very cunning. Man, if only I had my prized falcon from back when I was alive here, you'd be singing a different tune. Now I'll never get a chance to show you what I can really do. This means this whole contest is invalid. Oh my, the text is completely going off the screen. Fine by me. Sorry you got dragged into judging for us, Master. No worries, I had time to kill anyway. By the way, Lord Ted, might I ask you something? What's up? Was this hunt just now truly enough for you? Huh, saw right through me, huh? Man, you sword guys are something else. Eh. What are you guys talking about? I merely mean the techniques and essence of a warrior engaging in falconry differ greatly from those of a hunter. So I suspect, Lord Tell, that only a fellow hunter can truly provide you with the competition you seek. And as such, our contest here has most likely left you unsatisfied, would you agree? You got me. Just to be clear, it's not that you guys were pushovers or anything. These are all my issues that I've got to work through. It's a little embarrassing sharing them, but since you've seen through me anyway, what the hell? Mind hearing me out? Not at all. Well, I do. This isn't over, damn it. I'll be back as soon as I've raised a new falcon. No, wait, I've just realized I could have Da Vinci make me a mechanical one, too. I'm pretty sure she used to have something like that perched on her shoulder a while back. I'll say this for Nobu, she's nothing if not persistent. Thanks. Basically, I get... it basically counts as me saying both. Basically, I guess it all boils down to me being a hunter. Or indeed, an exceptional one. An exceptional one. Nobody would doubt that. Thing is, my story pretty much ends as soon as I shot the wicked bow through the heart. Oh, I see. So you think you can also qualify for an assassin class? You got it. I knew you were a sharp one, Master. Anyway, yeah, I did shoot Gessler right through the heart. I might have only did it because I didn't have any other choice. But I don't doubt that one deed was still enough for me to be known as a hero. Still, that doesn't change the fact that I'm a hunter at heart, even if I'm now here as an archer. I can tell myself that Gessler was just more quarry to take down. When you get down to it, I'd rather stick to hunting animals than people. I'm not the... Yeah, you're not the sniper from TF2. That's not to say that this weighs on me all the time, but just like how you know you don't always notice it's time to sweep up until you see how much dust there is on the floor. Sometimes you don't realize you need to do something about your situation until you can't ignore it anymore. You are feeling that way now? Pretty much. Hell, wouldn't even be thinking about this now if I hadn't enjoyed our little hunting contest so much. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, I'd like to get back to my roots as a hunter, at least until the other aspects of my current manifestation stop bothering me. Now I understand. You think, Master? If I may offer my own opinion, I believe the simulator machine could serve this purpose quite nicely. Furthermore, there are other hunters in Kade who could provide Lord Tell with the competition he seeks. Okay, got it. Let's see what Da Vinci thinks then. Thanks, you're doing me a big favor. The legendary hunter. William Tell is all the way down here. Do I have any skills leveled, actually? Let's take a look at that before I do anything else. Oops, none of that. Only at level 4. And I think, if I remember, I think that's because he uses some very annoying materials to level up. All the same, I'd like to bring him. You asked and I delivered. This is a special hunting optimized map I've just whipped up. I programmed it myself to try and get as close to a real natural environment and ecosystem as possible. Man, you really do work fast. That sounds great. Thanks for going through the trouble. These woods you put together look real nice. I also went ahead and found you an opponent that should make for a good challenge. If it's a hunting contest you're looking for, I don't think you could do any better than this guy. Have fun putting your skills against a hunter from the Age of Gods themselves. Oh hey, where's this hunting contest happening? Hey, it's Super Orion. Sure want to do this, old man? I'm the greatest hunter in all Greece, you know. Oh, Orion, hunter of Greek mythology, huh? You weren't kidding about him being a good challenge. In fact, I'm actually starting to feel bad. sure a legend like you wants to waste his time on a plain old human hunter like me? Don't be so modest, we're both archers and hunters here. Besides, I gotta show the team here that I still know how to prowl for animals just as well as I do for ladies. Especially since I figure showing my animal hunting skills off here ought to make the lady hunts even easier. But hey, all that aside, I'm looking forward to this. This will be my first real hunt in ages. Oh, you could stick with Tell there, Master. It's easier to provide him with magical energy that way, right? I've got my muscles to rely on, so this will be a perfect handicap. I'm fine with that if you are, though I gotta say, I feel especially bad if I end up hunting Borley now. I did my best to make this simulation as realistic as possible, so go ahead and treat this just like you would a real hunt. Also, while I do feel more than a little silly warning you guys about this since you're both pros and all, the forest is pretty dangerous, so make sure you all stay alert. Alright, I'll be careful. Of course, don't worry, I promise I'll bring back Master safely. Sounds good? Alright then, let's get this hunting contest started. William Tell's a pretty good 3-star. The only reason I haven't maxed him out is, well, I've already got some better archers is the thing. There's been a lot of good freebie ones throughout the year. I should probably stick to basic attack cards for the moment. I put William Tell in his second ascension because I think his big boss, his third ascension looks like Big Boss from Metal Gear, which I imagine is 100% intentional, but...
静かにな。よし。そこにいるな。罠だ。罠だ。これが帰ってくるか。
Unfortunately, star ranking in this game does affect maximum stats, so William Tell is nowhere as powerful as a 4 or 5 star. Fortunate, but that is just how it goes sometimes. Ow. Here we are. The interlude quests are pretty easy in general, so you can usually get by with basically anyone you want. And yes, I know there are YouTubers who do challenge runs where they beat the hardest bosses with only low stars, but those just require a special... Orion's hunting pressure. Alright, so it's not Orion himself, it just represents his, the pressure it is from facing him. Excellent. Let's do it this way. I have the feeling the crit damage is going to be key here. And I should probably heal him a little just so he doesn't, Oh, excellent. Good crit damage, but it'll be even better for the next one. Deals more damage to the enemies trying to dodge, but I don't have a way to guarantee that, unfortunately. Oh, excellent. There we go. That worked out rather well, I think. That ought to do it. I like Foul. The skill is so soft, I never have to worry about my arrows being deflected. So I can see from your score. Orion, on the other hand. Hey, if it's a contest, it's been about who could slay lions in the forest with their bare hands, the fastest I'd have crushed, okay? Hell, I've been okay throwing some Lami in there too. Tracking down and capturing as many tiny wildfowl as possible before the time limit runs out. Now to think about it, I've never done anything like that before. I'm surprised you give us such an intimidating hunter's aura, I could sense it through the forest. Well, my hunting style basically boils down to find animals, shoot arrow, done. I never had to bother with laying out traps or driving animals to dead ends like you did. Me being me, I knew I could just fire an arrow from anywhere and it'd find its mark. I'm sure, I guess it goes without saying that you're a much better shot with a bow than I am. Though that much was probably obvious from the fact I gotta rely on a mechanical crossbow. Looks like we're dealing with way more different hunting styles than we realized. Orion might have an overwhelming edge when it comes to archery, but I guess that doesn't help much when you're trying to track down lots of small animals. Yep, bigger the game the better if you ask me. It's a lot easier to hit, and there's a lot more meat to go around. Given the choice, I don't think I'd ever intentionally go after a little animal. You really are wild, aren't you, Orion? So your specialty's big game, huh? Maybe this playing field isn't as level as I thought. Sorry about that. I guess you guys didn't get to have a fair contest after all. Hey, don't worry about it. Fair or not, a contest is a contest. And now I know without a doubt your skills are top-notch, Tell. I can tell that much just from hunting the same square forest. You won this one fair and square. Honestly, I'm kind of reluctant to claim victory here, seeing as you almost beat me while you were at a disadvantage. But either way, getting to hunt alongside you has been a hell of an experience. Thanks for doing this, Orion. I haven't been this proud to be a hunter in a long time. Oh, but you're still not totally satisfied yet, are you? Guess I'm getting a little greedy. Opportunities like this don't come along every day, after all. And hey, as a man of the mountain, I can't help but be a little stingy. Don't you worry, Orion's not the only hunter I called in, and I've got a few other hunting spot simulations ready to go. So now that you've come this far, I'm happy to keep going until you're good and satisfied. And let's go with hunting contest number 2. You know, it's been so long since I got to spend time in a forest, I think I'll hang out there a little more, or somewhere out of your way. You can see it now. By sheer coincidence, I'll meet a beautiful woman here in woods, then enthralled by my hunting skills, one thing will lead to another. Well, I gotta get going. Good luck, both of us. Yeah, nothing's good is gonna come from this. Or archery, huh? We'll borrow the Grail Karna in case... So if anything goes wrong, I can nuke it with him. See, so that's why you wish to hold a hunting contest with me. Looks that way. And versus Orion, now it's another legendary hunter from Greek mythology. Also makes me feel bad asking you to compete against a nobody like me. Do not be so modest, I'm told your skills are nothing to sneeze at as well. Also, do not lump me in with that muscle-headed would-be playboy. I may not have his sheer strength, but strength is unnecessary when it comes to the hunt. I swear, who was it that first proclaimed him the best hunter in all of Greece, anyway? She's not lying. When it comes to hunting, she may even be a more formidable opponent than Orion. So I'd keep my guard up if I were you. No, not only is she as good a shot as Orion, she can also see clearly in the dead of night. And if that weren't enough, legend has it she was a faster runner than any man alive. So she's got a hell of a mobility advantage when it comes to the hunt as well. Yeah, strictly speaking, Adelante never technically lost a foot race. She just ended up losing, well, because, well, her husband kind of cheated. Her would-be husband cheated. He basically used her favorite food against her. I do not brute force my way through a hunt like Orion does, and I'm exceptionally skilled at finding small prey. I'm also willing and able to use traps if necessary, although it never is, since no quarry can outrun me. Watch and I will show you what a true hunt, one without an ounce of wasted effort, looks like. Be warned, I could not pull my punches even if I wished to. Now you're talking. I don't have any special tricks or techniques. Everything I know is perfectly ordinary stuff I picked up over the course of my life. But I know I'm real fortunate to have a legend like you taking the time to compete with me, so I'll do my best to give you a good match. Alright then, go ahead and get started, and remember, safety first. Good, this is all going well. You know, I cannot remember the last simple, ordinary hunt I went on. This is turning out to be a lot of fun. Furthermore, since this is a simulator, I can hunt as much as I like without having to worry about the effects on the local ecosystem. I think I'll try picking up the pace a little. Another one, you're doing great. Aren't you? Oh sure, this is either the fastest I've ever gone on a hunt, but I can tell from the overall atmosphere there's less and less quarry for the taking. I guess the mythical huntress really is going all out against the little me. I'm honored. How am I gonna fight back? Simple. I don't. We're the ones out here hunting. We're already doing the best we can. I can't pick up the pace more than I can decide to grow another foot taller. When you get right down to it, hunting was never anything more than more to me than a way to put food on the table. It's never the kind of thing I'd be willing to risk my life for a contest. I don't have anything more to give than I've already got. If I had to give more than I've got, I wouldn't be hunting anymore. That's not strictly negative, but decidedly resigned way of thinking about his own abilities definitely fits his character. Heck, the way he so fully accepts things as they are almost strikes me as a form of enlightenment. He doesn't seek out or depend on anything more than what's absolutely necessary. He even looks at his own abilities as just another variable in a hunt, much like the weather. You really are a hunter's hunter, Tell, even more so than Orion or Adelant. That said, there's still something I haven't done yet. And what's that? Alright, this boulder ought to do nicely. Go on, you have a seat too. You can use a break after the work you've been putting in. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. The thing is, we're just out here. Found out about how the other hunter's doing more than we... Thing is, we just found out more about how the other hunter's doing than we needed to know. Whether we try to ignore or think about it, it's about to take up space in our minds and lead us getting frantic. The animals out here will pick up on that, and it's harder to track them down. So if trying harder is only going to slow us down, the best thing we could do now is rest and regain our focus. I see, haste makes waste and all that. Exactly. Oh, and if you're feeling hungry, now's a good time for refuel. Let's see, afraid all I've got right now is apples, but they're yours if you want one. An apple from William Tell, of course. Alright, here we go, catch. Oh, it's rolling down the slope, I'll go after it. Don't worry about it, there's more where that came from. Well, maybe it'll even give these woods maybe it'll even give these woods an apple tree eventually. I'd be very surprised if that ended up happening, seeing as how this is a simulation all. Yeah, I was about to say, I'm pretty sure this isn't real. Well, anyway. Alright, next I will, huh? Oh, it's like in her legend. Am I seeing things? Was that rolling? I knew it! It is an apple. I must not go after it. Settle down. That's an ordinary apple, not a golden one. There's no reason for me to be moved by the sight. Yet, twitching with the urge to go after it. No, no, I mustn't. I'm in a forest right now. My hunting instincts are surging now that I'm on the hunt again. An apple. Just... This cannot end well. I'm twitching more strongly than ever. Oh, meow. And if you're wondering why Adelante is a cat girl, it's because her story ends with her being turned into a lion because the ancient Greeks decided to punish her and her husband by turning them into lions since lions can't breed with each other, supposedly. Yeah, I don't know what the ancient Greeks were thinking. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but that's what it is. Adelante is putting out their... Oh. Odd, now it feels like the powerful hunting aura Adelante was putting out there is fading from the woods. Oh well, nothing we need to worry about. Alright, what do you say we get back to the hunt now? On our own terms, of course. Alright, since there's only 3 left here, I can do this safely. There we are. Easy. Remnant of the apple pursuer. So just do this then. Yonder cave.
こういうのどうだ？
古きルールどれにしようかな。
そこにいるな。そこにいるな。
Alright, we'll go ahead and do it this way then. A brave chain. I don't know if this will. No, it's not going to finish her. His basic attack stats are too low. Well, we'll be finished next turn. What I'd like her to do is use her dodge ability, but it looks like she isn't. Because if she used her dodge ability, that would absolutely win me the fight.
焦ることはないさ。わしは外さんよ。静かそこにいるな。
Alright, this should finish it. Yeah, his NP will remove
外しちまった
the enemy. Yeah, sure hit. So if they try to dodge, it doesn't work, and he gets a damage bonus if they do.
アップルシーズン。
Atalanta does have one, but she didn't want to use it, so I couldn't get the bonus to show it off. A shame.
諦めることは許さんぞ。
Excellent. Gasp. Death to apple rollers. So what's the final tally? I'll spare the details so as not to embarrass her, but it looks like you guys came out on top in the end. Wait, hang on, what the hell's that signal? Da Vinci? I think probably there's a bug in, but why? Wonder what that was all about. Stop, stay where you are. Saber enemy, interesting. Got the Achilles then, just so he gets the Cupid monster. Whatever you do, don't move a muscle. Don't turn around, don't even make a sound. Well, I said don't even make a sound. Oh, the lion creatures? This pressure's intense. That thing's gotta be the biggest predator on the mountain or something like it. Why'd it show up out of nowhere like this, though? Never mind now, it's not important. Important is that it's in a real bad spot. Way too close. Close to the player character. It's obviously got him in his sights. One wrong move and he could end up dead. Can't wait around for it to make a move. But it could attack at any point. I don't have time to move the best vantage point. If I'm gonna shoot it, it's gotta be now, but... Damn it, why'd I have to choose that spot? If I take the shot from here and miss, it'll hit. Hit the master. I'll also have to risk it. If it's my only option, there's no sense worrying about it. Well, we best trust that he knows what he's doing. Reference to his legend for when he had to fire the apple, shoot the apple off the head. Or else to be. You, now's your chance, Master. Quick, get behind me. Thanks, Tell. Don't thank me just yet. All I did was distract you for a moment. It's not down for the count yet. As a hunter, I hate to inflict any wounds on my quarry that aren't absolutely necessary. But I couldn't aim for a vital spot from that angle. Now it's time to finish off for good. I'm counting on you to watch my back. Oh, it's just a unicorn.
のんびり行こうや。
The Arrow Conviction. Strength up versus Wild Beasts. Yeah, special attack to enemies that evade. What's this? Gains resistance to all attacks. Oh my.
つまり連中だな。他にやることな。こういうのどうだ？
Well, we're gonna do this
そうす
first.
るか。ご承覧あれってな。
Majestic step.
うわ
I don't think the unicorn enemies have a dodge ability.
どれにしようかな。
一服しようぜ。
Alright, his NP should be good enough for this, so let's do it this way.
わしは外
I'll
さん。
charge Waver's MP in case I need it, but I don't think I will. More defense down might help.
ああ、この時またこの見せ所だ。アッセルシーセン。
罠だ無駄だ
Okay, yeah, that did the trick. There we are. We got it. Sheesh, I'm still cold, sweating bullets. I knew you could pull it off. Honestly, I was pretty damn scared. My hands were shaking, my heart was pounding, my throat was completely parched. All I could think about was how much I didn't want to do this. Pathetic, really. Yeah, that's right, it was just like the time I had to shoot the apple off my son's head. This is a good opportunity to make something clear. As servants go, I'm pretty damn weak. I'm not descended from gods, nor do I have any legendary weapons or armor. I'm just an ordinary guy who barely managed to shoot an evil man dead with the extraordinary skills I'd built up with the... Oh no, with the ordinary, not extraordinary, just ordinary skills I built up over my life. I'm an ordinary parent, an ordinary hunter. I'm just as weak and afraid of death as any other person. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, it doesn't feel right having you look up to me with all the same admiration you do for these actual heroes. Even with all those human weaknesses, you're able to make a shot when it really counts. So you're an actual hero just as much as any other. Well, damn. It's making me blush a hobby or something, because you're real good at it. Hey, you two okay? You are? What a relief. I'm so sorry about that. There was some kind of error, bug, or something in the system. And it ended up outputting an enemy that's a whole order of magnitude more dangerous than the high-level boss state I was using for the toughest quarry. It's weird, though. I could have sworn I double-checked the code to make sure nothing like this would happen before executing it. Maybe something wonky made its way into the simulator and threw off my calculations. I could see powerful divinity's magic energy manipulations having this kind of effect on the system. Oh, darling. I love it when you actually go out hunting, except when you're hunting for girls instead of game. Damn it, figures I could catch this kind of fish I wasn't out trolling for. Why have to be the kind that practically jumps into your net itself? Why do you sound so disappointed, darling? And why are you running away from me? Guess I'll just have to make you tell me whatever you're up to in here, one way or another. That would sound so hot coming from someone else, but from you, I can only imagine means torture. Well, of course, after all, you were conspiring to cheat on me, weren't you? Conspiring? Hang on, isn't every fisherman's right to throw back the catches he doesn't need? Besides, what's wrong with bringing home a different kind of fish? Even bears get sick of having nothing but salmon. What about the 4 fish who want to be? Ever think about them? This is getting weirder and weirder with every statement. Now feel my love, mixed messages. Ah, if only my muscles didn't make for such a broad target. Well, anyways, I just upgraded the security in these environments and patch protected them, so this sort of thing should never happen again. Again, I'm so sorry about this. Hey, don't worry about it. Sure, I was taken aback when that thing showed up out of nowhere, but all that matters, the master wasn't hurt. Besides, while I wouldn't say it's exactly common to go around hunting giant beasts, I can't deny they're a hell of an opportunity for a hunter to show what they can really do. So this ended up being a great way to wrap things up. Then does that mean you're satisfied? I am. This was everything I was hoping for. I got to remember who I really am and show Master what I can really do. Sure, there might be more than one way to interpret that, but I got back in touch with my roots and that's good enough for me. Though, not without my fair share of embarrassment. Sounds like something big went down while I wasn't around. This is the kind of story so epic you want to tell your grandchildren about one day, isn't it? No fair. Hey now, cut me some flack. some slack. It wasn't all fun and games for me, you know. I had some seriously traumatic flashbacks. Sorry, Da Vinci, this stays between me and Tal. Wait, don't tell me apples were involved. No fair. Now, Sherlock Holmes, I was going to say for last, but I think I'm going to do it now and only do Shershi's afterward, because I don't really use Shershi. I don't really use William Tell either, but he's actually... I really did want to do his. Alright, so no holding off. Sherlock Holmes is an interesting one. Oh, I forgot to equip him. Interesting. Increased strength won't do much, so I'll just go with this one. And of course, mine is Grailed to max, but unfortunately he's not going to be going past level 100 once the 120 cap arrives, because for a 5-star to get that far, you unfortunately need multiple copies, and I can't get that very easily. Yeah. Even if I get him to the max spawn 15, it's not going to work, I'm afraid. That reminds me. Oh, he's not bond 10 yet. I'm taking my time for that anyways, not really worried. Now, before we go in here, I want to give a bit of context. Now, there's a bit of hint that something extra is going on with Sherlock Holmes in this game. His profile suggests that he seems to be the embodiment of the concept of a detective rather than based off anyone in particular. He himself is also ambiguous as to whether he was a real person or just a fictional character that was so famous he was able to manifest as a servant. Now, back in Lost Belt 2, Surtur, he fought with Surtur, who pointed out that his spirit origin, his very core as a servant, seems to contain something as other than just Sherlock Holmes. And the implication seems to be that Sherlock himself isn't entirely sure what it is, I think. Or he just isn't telling us. Sherlock likes to keep his mouth shut unless he has some absolute evidence to go with something. He doesn't like to share speculation, unlike me, obviously. And of course, in Atlantis, we were warned that there is a member in Chaldea who is potentially not trustworthy. Some fans like to say that this means there's a traitor among us, which is not entirely impossible. Untrustworthy and a traitor are not technically the same thing, but it could be a potential problem all the same to be aware of. Because someone not being trustworthy usually leads to them being a traitor. Which has led to some speculate that maybe he's going to side with humanity but not Chaldea, or Chaldea not humanity, or some way he's going to come in conflict with us, the player character. And indeed, during Moriarty's interlude, I don't have Moriarty, but I have read it. Basically says that he basically creates a fake singularity issue so that he can ask us to side with him and not Sherlock if it ever comes down to it, because you can always trust he admits to being evil, but you can also trust an evil person to be evil while someone pretending to be good and not sure. I can kind of get what he's saying there, because someone who's openly a dick is usually a lot less deceptive than someone who can pretend to be nicer, but at the same time, it's hard to say. Yeah, I mean, first of all, Moriarty isn't exactly what I'd call a reliable source, and also, even he admits he doesn't know what's going on with Sherlock. He just worries that he might be siding against us in some fashion, which is why a lot of people have jumped the gun and say the untrustworthy person being Sherlock must mean he's a traitor, basically. Yeah, this is fine. Actually, I probably should change my... because I can't use NP damage up with Sherlock. He doesn't have a damage NP. Alright, Sherlock. Good day, everyone. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm the world's greatest detective, as well as its only consulting one right now. I'm both the progenitor of all detectives and the essence of the very concept, the one who reveals the truth. Today I'm here to guide you all towards a new mystery and the facts that lie at its core. Indeed. Another thing, you might have noticed that Sherlock Holmes is actually a ruler. Now, ruler, for anyone who doesn't follow this franchise, a ruler isn't necessarily like nation ruler. It's more of a judge as far as this game and the series as a whole is concerned. They have to be impartial and able to render judgment. Now, Sherlock is very clearly able to be impartial, but he feels he should be something else instead. And supposedly, he was forced to be a ruler from his normal caster class because the ruler class forces him to basically put some restrictions on him, forces him to keep some mysteries he discovers as a mystery. Although that does seem a bit weird, since as I mentioned, he does keep sensitive information to himself. Like, he won't spoil a person's birthday party if he discovers a party is being planned for them. I mean, even he has basic common sense, so... There are a number of... That's part of the speculation that there might be something else going on with him, because it does seem a bit odd he was forced to go from caster to ruler just to avoid revealing mysteries. Because this is a universe where mysteriousness, the more mysterious something is, the more power it has. And Holmes having the ability to reveal mysteries is very powerful. That's absolutely confirmed, but forcing him to be a ruler just to put restrictions on him does seem a bit odd. But let us continue. I originally became involved with Chaldea when I became investigating the incineration of humanity incident of 2018, when I played a part in the 4th and 6th singularities. However, once Gautier, the king of the demon gods, was defeated, his plan to incinerate humanity was foiled. The world was then faced with a new crisis. I speak, of course, of the bleaching of humanity, an event that has resulted in the entire Earth being wiped clean, save for the Lost Belts. Yeah, the first half of the game was about the world basically being incinerated by Gautier, who basically took the body of King Solomon. Sherlock helped us find out the major story reveals in the 4th and 6th singularities, as he said here, and he officially joins us after Gautier was defeated, since something else was going on, and that turned out to be the bleaching white. Actually kind of reminds me of the Empty from Final Fantasy XIV, although they're not quite the same thing. Yeah. The bleaching was just something intended to do to make room for the Lost Belts. It wasn't specifically a cause, it's just a byproduct of trying to replace the main timeline with new ones, basically. The Empty in Final Fantasy XIV was explicitly an attempt to destroy the world of the first with the power of light. As you all surely know, this incident led to my gaining an official administrative advisor position at Chaldea, and I must say, it suits me rather nicely. While I continue to act as a detective, naturally, I've also found the work of supporting a larger organization to be quite stimulating. Unfortunately, I'm afraid there is little room for optimism, given the sheer scale of this case. My current theory is that, in a sense, this bleached Earth phenomenon pairs directly with the incineration of humanity. Basically means our backup is limited. When Gautier incinerated all of human history, he did so by starting in 2018 and going back in time to collect the necessary energy. That is to say, the infamous king never bothered to collect energy from the future because he knew there would be no human history from which to collect. So using 2018 as a single starting point, he headed back towards the past and succeeded in destroying humanity. Firstly, this great reset has left the past untouched, destroying humanity now, robbing it of its future. Given these facts, one could argue that the King of the Demon Gods' plan was intended to avoid this very future, as it involved incinerating humanity and remaking Earth before it was wiped clean. Yeah, the general hint was that Gautier knew something like the Lost Belts would come up and the other timelines would jump into this one, so out of pity, he became humanity's enemy. That was directly stated to be his main theme in the materials, if I remember right, that he represents the concept of pity towards humanity and its flaws. It's a dreadful problem and a horrific mystery. Even Gautier believed it beyond his ability to resolve, and Olympus proves that the alien god is stronger than he is. Bad as things are, we cannot afford to stop seeking a solution, not if we were to regain humanity and everything else that was lost. We will not give up, no matter what manner of hell may await us. We must continue onward, we must. I, in turn, will naturally continue to provide my full support. I will solve this case, even if I must consume every last bit of energy in my spirit core to do so. Why, you ask? Why else? Because I'm the greatest detective. I am Sherlock Holmes. Interlude. Thinking of the lost time. I'm honestly not sure if we'll get any answers about the trustworthiness of Holmes, but hopefully we'll get something interesting. Okay, Mr. Holmes, I've finished changing the security levels on all the Lost Belt records. Dr. Jekyll. Whenever he's not in hide mode, he's actually quite wise. What would you like to do about the library's request for hard copies of them? It's quite alright, I'm happy to authorize it. All parties involved with those incidents already have the clearance to view the records freely, so it shouldn't pose a problem. More so given that these hard copies will be for Novum Chaldea's own underground library. There's not a single person here who isn't part of Chaldea and therefore involved in some way. I'll be sure to let the director know about this. Thank you, Mr. Jekyll, that will be all. You're quite welcome. Please let me know if there's anything else I can do. I'll be cooped up in the central computer room for a while to assist Miss Da Vinci and Sir Babbage. But if you need my help with anything, I'll be here at a moment's notice. Much obliged. They seem like they've known each other for a long time. I know what you mean, senpai. They seem very comfortable working together, if not outright close with each other. It really is like they're old friends. Then again, maybe it's no surprise considering when the books based on parts of their lives came out. The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde was written in the late 19th century, and while Sherlock Holmes novels continued to be published well into the 20th century, the first ones also came out around the end of the 19th, not to mention they're both set in London. Funny thing about Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the fact that they're the same person was actually technically a plot twist in that book, but they're so famous, no one's going to find it a plot twist anymore. Which is a shame, really. But not much you can do when it's that famous. Huh? Now I see. I thought I'd told you to this, but I never got around to it. That's right, I knew Mr. Holmes back when I was alive. He was always very kind to me. We've only had time for brief hellos here and there since we both came to Chaldea, however. But now I finally know how to use. Now that I finally know how to use a computer, I thought I would help him out when I can. So you knew each other when you were both alive, huh? That explains it. Ha ha ha. Wait, in your past life, Holmes? Aha. Come to think of it, you never did give me a straight answer whether you really exist or not. Are you certain? That particular topic can get quite thorny rather quickly, to be honest. Indeed, I'm always willing to obfuscate when necessary. While the irony of me saying this is short-lived heroics While the irony of me saying this as a short-lived heroic spirit is not lost on me, as a general rule, one mustn't try to unravel mystics of the past. Of course, that's not to say mystics are a significant part of either Mr. Jekyll's past or my own. But regardless, one's past is one's past. Dig too deep and... are you okay, Mr. Holmes? And then again, I wouldn't want to be so coy that you end up distrusting me either. Rest assured, at this point I have no intentions of covering up anything that is clearly a matter of public record. Yes, Jekyll and I were indeed acquaintances in our lifetimes. And does that mean you and Mr. Hyde are once toe-to-toe like something straight out of a fan-fiction dream match? I do love that you're so clearly an avid reader, Miss Kierlight. And indeed, it's a little wonder that question will be foremost in your mind. But I'm sorry to say, the circumstances of how we came to meet were not merely so exciting as that. If anything, they're one of my more embarrassing failures. I only wish I'd never tried to avoid facing Mr. Hyde. It's not your fault, Mr. Holmes, it is mine. I'm the one who agreed to organize those case records, and some of the ones which I was clearly told not to. Not to mention I was the one who ended up entangled in this spider web connected to those records. Played by the diabolical Moriarty. Moriarty, you say? I was always fascinated by evil, so I think when I tracked down Moriarty, the wicked spider himself, my own evil side couldn't resist facing off with him. On Jekyll. In R.L. Stevenson's novella, Dr. Jekyll drinks an experimental serum that caused him to gain a new evil personality, the titular Mr. Hyde. I believe the point of the serum was to try and separate one's good and evil halves. As Mr. Hyde, his very body transforms reflect his wicked nature, and he takes on a series of awful deeds. Dr. Jekyll is so aghast by this turn of events, he ends up killing Mr. Hyde by taking his own life. And from what I've heard, the novella is a fairly accurate depiction of the events of your life. But based on what you just said, it sounds about those Professor Moriarty, rather James Moriarty, was somehow directly involved in you becoming Mr. Hyde? Could you tell us more about what happened? It's not a pleasant story. In fact, it's really quite depressing. I need to get a drink. My throat is very parched. Interesting. The funny thing about Moriarty is, in the original Sherlock Holmes, I'm sure most already know this, but in the original Sherlock Holmes books, Moriarty actually only really was important for basically the book he was the main villain of. He was never really, as far as I remember, I don't believe he was discussed prior to then. He was just kind of invented to be the main rival, to be a way to end the Sherlock Holmes books. But after Sir Conan Doyle started writing them again, he started being discussed a bit more in some of the later ones. And of course, later adaptations like films would always include Moriarty. So funny thing, Moriarty wasn't all that major a villain until long afterward. He wasn't made as a main rival from the start. Funny how things start out. Funny how things can go like that. And since Moriarty wasn't directly involved, there's no need to go into it. In fact, it's quite depressing, and since he wasn't directly involved, there's no need to go into it. He also been directly involved, no. What about indirectly? In time, the ingredients required for your serum became much harder to come by, no. That was his doing. While I didn't learn this until after the case was closed, there was a time when Clock Tower's alchemical catalysts were... Ahem. Never mind that now. Since we're all here now, Mr. Holmes, it seems to have been a good time as any to ask you something I've been curious about. Oh, and what might that be? Hey, I wanted to hear about what Moriarty did. Mister, I'm rapidly losing confidence in my ability to suppress my urges. I'm worried Hyde may make an appearance if we put the discussion going for too long, so please, help me change the subject, I'm begging you. Well, if that's the case, thank you. Senpai, Jekyll? Yes, you mentioned the clock tower, Mr. Holmes. You know, I engaged in many different fields of study back in my day. I earned doctorates in law and medicine, a spot in the Royal Society of Scientists, and eventually even uncovered some of alchemy's greatest secrets. But in spite of all that, I never managed to set foot inside the clock tower. Apparently, not even my magecraft-adjacent work with alchemy was enough to gain entrance. In the end, I went to my grave knowing nothing about the mages, the Mage Association, clock tower, or anything else pertaining to that very world. But the same isn't true for you, is it? The fact you mention the clock tower at all tells me you must have known that magecraft. That is, incredible mystics exist in this world, even as they're unbeknownst to all. Well, yes, I suppose I did. Then you knew the clock tower circa 1900? I knew of it, yes, but my knowledge was strictly second-hand. At the time, I decided to keep my distance from mystics and other things of that sort. I believed that my domain, the cases I investigated, were solely within the human world. However, there were times when I unwittingly encroached on the world beyond. For example, the adventure of the Speckled Band. The adventure of the Speckled Band! Do you know of that one, Senpai? If you don't, I hate to ruin it. I do, so don't worry about it. Understood. The adventure was one of the most popular Sherlock Holmes stories of its day. It begins when a woman of Surrey asks Holmes to investigate the circumstances of her twin sister's death. Her sister died in a locked room with seemingly no way for the killer to get in or out, and last words she spoke were the Speckled Band. And it was revealed the Speckled Band was actually a venomous snake. Right, the Speckled Band was a snake the killer had been controlling by whistling. It had an incredible plot twist at the end, and I had no doubt that Holmes fans enjoyed it a lot. But it has one big plot hole, the fact that snakes lacking ears cannot distinguish between whistle tones. That's hardly the story's only oddity. There's also the fact that the killer enticed the snake with milk, the fact the snake's venom should not kill its victims so quickly. Oh yeah. Truly, there's no end of contradictions. Right. So if the story as written couldn't be true, what actually happened? I'll tell you. There's a great evil at work in this case. A man of incredible intelligence is using his unique talents to commit crimes. I can think of no worse scenario. Think of no worse scenario. At any rate, it won't be long now, Watson. Very soon, the instrument of our villain's wicked ambition will come to this very room in search of more prey. I trust you have your pistol at the ready. What do you mean? What instrument? Hang on. You have me playing Dr. Watson. Granted, you certainly helped me out a lot, Mr. Advisor, so I'm not unwilling to join in the retelling of one of your old escapades. I can't say I'm not honored you chose me for the distinguished role of your most trusted colleague, one famously played by Edward Hardwick no less. Very well, then so be it. What are we about to see, Sherlock? Some sort of curse. There's no more fitting term. It comes from the Clock Tower's domain, the world of magecraft, which may sound fanciful, but I assure you that its wicked power is very real. I expect the responsible party is most likely a Clock Tower dropout, or on the other end of the spectrum, a sealed designated mage. Here it comes. Ah, it's here! I must say, whoever lets something like this slip out of the Clock Tower ought to be ashamed. Not that any admonishment will do much good at the moment. Come, Watson, let us take care of it. Watson's covering fire. Alright, we're gonna have to get some more critical stars for this. As a unit, Sherlock Holmes has the highest attack power of all rulers. So, yeah, he's pretty good. However, his NP is entirely support. You might have seen it if you were watching my Amazonas Tower or a playthrough, but if not, yeah, decreases defense roll enemies, ignores invincible, so enemies cannot protect themselves, so ignore defense. So basically, the enemies cannot buff their defense, they cannot make them protect themselves, they will always take full damage as long as he uses this. And increasing critical strength is just good for basic attacks. I should have used this first. How embarrassing for me. Alright, criticals. Yeah, Sherlock is someone who has to defeat enemies with his attack cards, but he absolutely has the attack damage for it. Because of my grails, I believe he is the strongest servant in my roster in terms of raw attack stats. Here we are. Granted, since I usually clear fights with NPs a lot, even during Olympus you didn't see me use it too much, but there are definitely fights where I need him, and times where I put him at the back of the party just to be a soloist of sorts. Yeah, I can do this. And let's do this just to get some more stars so I can get 100%. Yep, perfect. Well, not completely perfect, but close. Alright, this should deal enough damage to finish it. The spotted cord. Sherlock Holmes is really good as a soloist. I know some YouTuber has a bunch of stuff of him beating tough bosses all by himself. There we are. But yeah, some people use Hercules as their last stand sort of servant, but for me it's usually Sherlock. Plus, even though he has the lowest HP of all rulers, as a class, rulers resist basically everything but the extra class servants and berserkers, so he's pretty good. He's pretty good at surviving even though he's not the most, he doesn't have the highest HP stat. Man, I'm tripping over my words so much. Yeah, since rulers resist so many classes, Sherlock is pretty durable even though he has the lowest HP of all rulers, I believe. Which makes sense, because as I said, he has the highest attack of all rulers, and something has to give if he's got that. Oh, it's finally over. What in the world was that? sign that this case is now closed. An evil dark arts practitioner was using curses with physical forms to murder his victims. But now that his curse has been routed, it's going to come crashing down on his head. I expect he's dying from the recoil over in the next room as we speak. As they say, violence incites violence. Really? Did you mean to say I was shooting that monster just now? I was actually shooting the dastardly villain behind the latest murder? I say, couldn't you have said something sooner? I ended up firing every last bullet into it. No, that doesn't sound like something Watson to say. Damn, this is harder than it looks. On a different note, I don't know how I'm ever going to turn this into a book. Not to mention that if I write about what actually happened, I'm liable to draw the clock tower's attention. Oh, it's quite alright, Watson. I'm sure you'll come up with something. And there you have it, in the published record of these events, Sir Conan Doyle's novel, to be precise. A different truth was substituted for the actual facts of the case, as one would expect. Nor was that the only case where the clock tower's involvement or magecraft was skirted around. You mean there were others? Oh, what about the Hound of the Baskervilles? I always thought there were some things that didn't add up. Did it actually have something to do with the black dogs that appear in British folklore? Indeed it did, most perceptive, Miss Curlite. But I'm afraid I can't give you the full marks for that insight alone. Oh? It wasn't only the black dog, you see. As a matter of fact, the King of the Storm was also involved with... On second thought, I'd best not say any more. I expect it'll be far more entertaining once I've had a word with Mr. Edison about filming it for the big screen. Oh gosh, oh gosh, gosh, does that mean there might be a brand new Sherlock Holmes movie made here at Novum Chaldea? Easy, Mash, take it easy. Did you hear that, Senpai? Speaking as a huge fan of both the books and movie adaptations, maybe the biggest news since... Goodness, so lively in here. What's everyone talking about? Oh, whatever it is, certainly can't be an evil scheme if it's got Mash so excited. So what's up? Helena. Good day, Madame Blavatsky. Don't be so ridiculous, my dear Yelena. You know I would never engage in any such manner of scheming. I don't know, Sigerson. You've definitely got a mischievous side, do you? Oh, Sigerson. That's one of Holmes' aliases used in the original stories. I'll be honest and say I'm one of those, uncultured people who started with the Sherlock Holmes films before the books. So I guess there's a lot of detective stuff I've been keeping up with. So you're all reminiscing, huh, in that case? Did you hear the one about the Himalayas yet? What about what do people call it, Mr. Holmes? The Great Hiatus? We haven't heard the one about the Himalayas. Oh, but I do know about the Great Hiatus. The Great Hiatus, huh? Glad you know about it too, Senpai. There's a roughly 3-year period of time between May 4th, 1891 and the day Holmes goes over the Reichenbach Falls with Professor Moriarty, and April 5th, 1894, the day where he reveals to Watson that he's still alive. Sherlock Holmes fandom refers to that as the Great Hiatus. The explanation Holmes gives for his absence during this period in the books was that he spent times overseas in a place like Tibet and Persia. So then when Holmes was off in Tibet... Yep, after he and I both faked our deaths in 1981, Matt Reichenbach and me in London, we went out exploring the Himalayas together. I can't believe this. Why would the Clock Tower youngsters be coming after me now? Did I do something to upset them? Upset them? They've left me alone for years, saying they don't care about what I do since there's no such thing as Mahatma anyway. And now out of the blue, they're sending assassins after me. I expect they became more wary of you by virtue of the fact you faked your death. Wary? Given the genius Madame Blavatsky's success at bringing modern occultism into mainstream Western society, they must have thought you were about to make a move on the Magecraft world now that your public persona is gone. Or something to that effect. You think they are paying that much attention to me? I suppose I shouldn't be surprised that you lack awareness of your own importance. But whether you're aware of it or not, Madame Blavatsky, the fact remains that modern-day Europe is in the midst of an unprecedented occult boom. While it may not have reached the world of true magecraft, the group of people who believe in ghosts and supernatural phenomena is far greater than you think. Even the criticisms leveled at society by the psychological research have done nothing to turn the tide. At this point, it's a genuine social phenomenon, which is why the Clock Tower and Mage Association cannot afford to completely ignore it. Remember, they were supposedly forced to add a new department at the turn of the last century thanks to Count Cagliostro's influence. And if that is true, you can be certain they're keeping a close eye on you as well. See, if only they knew I just wanted to let Annie deal with that stuff so I could be free. Ah yes, Annie Besant, Madame Blavatsky's successor to present-day Theosophy. That's her? I just wanted to stop being Grandma Helena, the old occultist lady who founded Theosophy. I guess she's supposed to be kind of like Sothis, and that she's supposed to act way older than she looks, although I'm not sure how well they do that. I didn't want to deal with British SPR and their incessant complaining, and the Theosophical Society, even my beloved Mahatma. I just want to be free of everything, and live an ordinary life as a kind, gentle girl, one of hope and possibility. But I guess I never will, thanks to Clock Tower. It may not be the entire Clock Tower behind this, it could simply be policies, or perhaps one of the other departments going off on their cares. It doesn't change my situation. I was really looking forward to coming to the Himalayas. You were too, right? I was excited to see the secret winged draconic beasts to land where no one has ever set foot. But instead of some phantasmals, all we got were some assassins and chimeras they brought with them. I'm sorry I have to deal with this. Reinforcements, stand back, madam. I'll take care of them. Thank you, Mr. Sigerson. I'll back you up. Much obliged. Now allow me to show you what Baritsu can do. Mahatma's inspiration, active. I've got a Sherlock Brave Chain, so let's do that first. He remembers Naruhodo. Nah, I know it means is that so? Or something along those lines. If my understanding is correct anyway. Alright, let's do this, just get everyone's damage up. Oh dang, that's a lot of damage. Can't use heals here, but I can. I'll have to destroy it right now then. Sanat Kumara will deal. If it survives, her Brave Chain should finish it. Although I don't think we're gonna quite get that far. Okay, yeah, that did kill it, so the rest of it will be on that creature. Soundless roll. Put it in the sight. Right, this should do the trick. And there we are.
白な事実ほど誤解を与えやすい勝敗の結果さえ
Excellent. Formation restricted again. Oh my. Yeah, looks like Sherlock's interlude is heavily scripted, so... You threw a chimera and you did that while you're still alive? Yep, just picked it up and whoosh. I have to say, it flew surprisingly well. So your Barutsu was just as strong as when you were alive as it is now. I should have known. Remember, these were not the phantasmals of Greek myth, but simply imitations devised by late 19th century mages. If slamming against a wall was enough to shatter all their bones, it's safe to say they never truly posed a threat. In my estimation, they were no more dangerous than, say, a wild lion. And we all know how safe wild lions are. Fair point. I certainly don't mean to imply they pose no danger at all. Did you just smile, Jekyll? Oh, how can I put this? I guess I'm just a little relieved to hear all that. See, part of me thought that now that Holmes had materialized here as a heroic spirit, all the mystery surrounding him had been cleared up, leaving no more secrets. But clearly I was wrong. Turns out that even when I was alive, he was breaking curses and throwing around man-made demonic beasts. So yes, I'm happy to find that you're still just as much a mysterious gentleman as ever, Mr. Holmes. Is that your way of paying me a compliment, Jekyll? Of course. Mysterious gentleman, huh? Mystery. Speaking of mysteries, there's one big one about you, isn't there, Miss Segerson? We never did find out if you were originally a rogue servant or somebody summoned you here. Which is it? Screen Edge Phantom Gentleman. For that matter, how did you show up in the Sixth Singularity all on your own? Ah, now, Miss Blavatsky, I think that's quite enough for now, don't you? What do you think you're doing, Moriarty? Professor? Spider. Oh yes, I do beg your pardon. It's nothing really, nothing at all. I know how it looks, but I simply noticed some magical energy pooling around here, and I thought I'd unhand the lady at once, Professor. Oh yes, of course, my apologies, dear madam. Don't worry about it. Anyway, did you handle this pool or whatever it was? I did indeed, worry no more. James Moriarty. Man by which all their evil is measured. The once king of villainy, the Napoleon of crime. A pretty big villain, despite not only showing up in the book he's defeated in, more or less. The wicked spider trampled all over society without as much as a pang of conscience. Surely I need not remind you the many lives you've ruined, the countless people you yourself hurt or killed. Now here you are, claiming to be secretly good on the inside, even as you remain steadfastly evil and unapologetic for your past crimes. The first thing you do upon setting foot in this room is sneak up behind Madame Blavatsky's back? I see this calls for a heaping helping of Borutsu, doesn't it? He's cracking his knuckles. My, I can hear those knuckles cracking all the way over here. I suppose this goes to show you why one shouldn't indulge one's evil side too often. Indeed, I've piled on my misdeeds mountainously high. Am I up to something now? Even now? But of course. All that being said, however, let's not get ahead of ourselves too quickly now, great detective. I am hardly some cackling vampire about to be making off with beautiful maidens after all. Or did you genuinely think a few snide remarks to be enough to get my goat at this point? Well, great detective. I believe in one of the other interludes, they reveal that Moriarty runs the villain stuff, where he's supposedly not the leader, but they have to run all their evil plans through him to get his approval first and ideas. So yeah, he's functionally the leader of all villains. While that is nice, it does functionally mean that any other villains from history they introduce will automatically have to be inferior to him. Oh well. I don't have Moriarty, but my understanding is he's still one of the strongest single target archers in the game, which is pretty nice. But I don't really need too many of those. My Santa Altera does quite a bit, thank you very much. And Chloe as well. But mostly Santa Altera because, you know, fun to do Scotty stuff. Great detective, what a positively stirring turn of a phrase. However, I take extreme issue with you calling yourself that, Holmes. Frankly, you've got a lot of nerve, acting like you're some sort of hero of justice. Or is my recollection of you naming yourself the ultimate arbiter of truth mistaken? That you mediate facts in the name of preserving human history? There's no need for humanity to know the full truth. Indeed, they must never know. That is precisely why I was given the ruler spirit origin, to be both a mediator and arbiter. It is because I'm meant to mediate facts and arbitrate all things that ensure human history will always exist. Ahaha. Hehe. Ahaha. You created a noise block in the mainframe and caused the Valkyrie go berserk, and created a mechanical Elizabeth. Indeed, it would take me days to recount your various misdeeds committed solely since coming to Chaldea. You're the King Spider, yet still scheming and plotting as much as ever, yet you act as though you're some sort of benevolent protector of the Master. Where does the truth about you lie, Moriarty? You wish to know where you can find it, old boy. Alright, that's enough. For you to insist on fighting, you can do it without getting a Master and me involved in it. Besides, just look at poor Jekyll. Me? Don't worry, I'm fine. Hyde's coming out. Fine. Yeah, no, you're not fine. You're right, Senpai. I thought I just saw Hyde for a split second. Okay, break it up. No more arguing. You just can't help yourselves, and let's take it outside the command room and into the simulator. Would you do the honors, Mash? Good idea. Let's let them get out of the systems in the simulator. Right. Arranging simulator settings now. Let's see, how do I split up the teams? Why, Team Detective versus Evil Army, of course. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Hyde? The hell did you just say to me, Gramps? Alright, fine. And by me, I'm gonna kill you all dead. Now, Jekyll, Hyde is here. And looks like he's very motivated to fight. Good grief, it would seem Moriarty's left us with little choice but to clean up this mess. Looks like Holmes is ready to go too, Senpai. Let us get the combat simulation started. Please select Sherlock as a starting member. Actually, since there's no Lancer, I could probably do this. Weird to have Sherlock as a main DPS when he has no damaging NP, but with all these casters, he should be able to do well. Usually I do this with someone with a damage NP, but I think I'll be doing fine here. I have my own Helena, but she's only NP1, so unfortunately she's not especially useful.
行くぞ。よし。
賢明な判
罠だ。罠だ。
断。なるほど。
Here we are. Speed Jammer. I don't want to use the NP yet.
構わないね。賢明な判。面白い。
罠だ。
Here
we are. Yeah, please continue to hit Sherlock. He can tank all this like a champ. Right. Oh, nice critical. Darn it, just a bit short. Well, it won't use its special attack.
賢明。
よし。
面白い。
Here we are. Oh dear. I guess I have no choice but to use Arash here. I need to clear out these guys, all of them. I think this will finish him off. Oh, one survived, but Sherlock will finish the clone of Babbage. Skadoodles will make sure things work out. Alright, focus Hyde first, as per usual. I'll beat him all to death. Evil tyrannical spiderweb. hypothetical reasoning. Alright, Scotty should do this, so...
しようかな
If he crits that with that quick card, he should finish off... Well, first of all, he'll finish off Jekyll... Hyde. He'll finish off Hyde because Scotty gives 100% crit damage. Plus 100%, so 200% total. Yep. Charge gain. Oh dear. This might be trouble.
宝具解放。我が最終式究極的犯罪をここにせよ。
As long as it's anyone but Sherlock, yeah, it's fine.
ザ・ダイナミクス・オブ・アステロイド。
ここまでか。
Painful.
マダンよ。おう。
Probably do this, actually. Let's give Helena the NP instead of Sherlock.
よくってよとっておきを出してあげる
And Sanat Kumara should weaken Moriarty, and then I can use the basic attack cards with Sherlock. And if the quick one crits, that might actually be enough. Yep.
たまには肉体労働もしないとね
85 out of 90 interludes complete. Not bad. No, you got me. Oh, drat. Now my favorite coat is all smudged. Very well, then. I think I'll be on my merry way. Today's Baratsu really did a number on my poor back. Dang, I still really like the music here. This is from Shinjuku, where Moriarty was first introduced. Oh yes, that'll do, Hyde. Oh, the hell are you talking about? I can keep this up all... I said that'll do. He can compel them to change. Did I turn into Hyde again? Now, as they say nowadays, sayonara, suckers, ha ha ha! Oh my. Good grief, it seems he threw subtlety out the window today. All that aside, this vision of London permeated by demonic fog certainly does bring back memories. The fourth singularity is where you accepted the request from Babbage, right, Holmes? Yes, it is. Unfortunately, I still have yet to fully complete it, though, much to my chagrin. Though the first murder of humanity was prevented when Gautier and his mass incineration plot were defeated, it was not long afterwards the second plot to murder all of humanity began, in the form of bleaching the Earth. This is easily the largest murder case in all of history, and as such I must do everything I can to solve it, starting with finding out why the foreign god did it. Yes, the foreign god, a mystery of truly unprecedented scale, and a being we still know nothing about despite having conquered numerous lost belts. Yeah, other than the fact it stole Olga Marie's body, it all seems to go back to the Marsberry family, which Olga's from. On that note, some have speculated that Holmes might have an outer god powers mixed in with his spirit origin, since they've been... Well, there's a number of reasons, but it's also possible that they've also been... they've been using a lot of outer gods in the storyline a lot lately, basically. largely so that foreigner servants powered by Lovecraftian monsters can arrive, but it's also so they can the source of a lot of power for some servants, and some speculate that could be the case for Holmes as well. But again, we just don't know, and I'm not even sure if he knows. He is coy about it, but definitely been hints. As I mentioned in Lost Bell 2, Surtur said he knew something was up with Holmes. Especially since Sherlock is obviously supposed to be an ordinary human, just a particularly smart one, but a far cry from the deities and stuff that other servants are, and yet Surtur was impressed by it. And likewise, Koyanskaya mentioned that something seems off about him. So there's definitely something there. Although I guess it's not like there wasn't something off about them, because Surtur was disguised as Sigurd when that happened, when he was giving that. And likewise, Koyanskaya, as we learned in Olympus, she has been a beast creature a beast monster this entire time. And hiding that. I've no doubt I was given this ruler spirit origin in order to unravel this mystery, and yet... At any rate, as a detective, I'm obligated to determine what true evil is, and given that I no longer have a human life to take care of, I am more detective now than I ever was in life. Yeah, because he's a servant now, he doesn't have to worry about his human needs. Indeed, it may be no exaggeration to say I'm the very essence of a detective. Come to think of it, I've never told you why I became a detective or what drives me to pursue cases. I've no doubt that Miss Carolite is already intimately familiar with my backstory. She's clearly read Sir Conan Doyle's novels thoroughly, as well as seen a number of their film adaptations. What about you, Alex? I'd like to hear it from you, well, more than anything else. As you wish. Why did I become a detective? There's one word that sums up my reasons nicely. Justice. Justice. Yes, justice. Believe it or not, I fight for justice. That is what is good and right. Surprised? While some famous detectives from modern stories seem concerned solely with solving mysteries for their own sake, I am not one of them. While I do have a fair bit of aptitude for making deductions as well, as you can most likely tell from the nature of my noble phantasm. Yeah, his elementary, my dear noble phantasm basically makes it so that whenever he comes up with a problem, there will always be a solution. Like, if there's a door that has no key, it will make a key exist, but it will not put it in his hands. He has to find it from a place it would logically be. It's supposed to be a passive ability that's always active, but for the sake of the gameplay, it's used like any other. Which makes sense, really. Even so, I remain the one and only Sherlock Holmes. I've gone back and forth on whether or not Sherlock Holmes really is my favorite detective out of all the detective stories I've read, because... while the original books were good, there's been quite a few ones that have also been out later, some of which could be argued as better. But at the same time, the roots are what matter. After all, because of Sherlock Holmes, it's because of Sherlock Holmes even future ones exist. Indeed, it could even be said of comic book heroes, since Sherlock Holmes is credited as a heavy influence for Batman, for example. Don't forget, the DC in DC Comics stands for Detective Comics. Not to mention that others are supposed to be based off him. Heck, if I haven't read the comic itself, but I have read that Sherlock Holmes was actually able to defeat Deadpool, of all people. So... yeah, there's definitely a lot of influences, and his influence continues this very day. So even if the original Sherlock Holmes stories don't hold up as well as newer ones, even if I do decide I like one of the later detectives more, there's still something to be said about the one that started it all, the one from which all the others have branched out since. And that's why I wanted... Sherlock Holmes is one of the reasons I picked up this game in the first place, just because of that. And it's precisely because humanity... oh, right. Even so, I remain the one and only Sherlock Holmes, and it's precisely because humanity is currently facing a true existential crisis that I must never completely forget where good and evil lie. Murder is murder, it cannot be overlooked no matter what its scope. So I will not turn a blind eye. one taking place before my eyes, where there is but one victim or whether there is one victim or several billion of them. What about the Lost Belts? What do you think of them? What do I think of them? I think there's serial killings involving entire worlds, and what's worse, the culprit has ensured that their blood is on our hands. We're no longer merely fighting for our very existence. In order for our world to survive, we've been forced to commit unspeakable atrocities. All the more reason the one responsible must be held accountable. I refuse to let this stand. I will see the evil trampling of the innocent people, sneering at the very idea of good and righteousness, and attempting to further their desires regardless of whom they hurt is brought to justice. Indeed. For whose sake, you ask? Nobody in particular. No, I pursue these cases purely in the name of justice itself. At heart, that is who I am. Sherlock Holmes, protagonist of great adventures. Protagonist of the Sir Arthur Conan Doyle novels? True, I suppose I may have no right to call myself a protagonist any longer now that I've shown you a wealth of evidence proving I genuinely existed once. Be that as it may, I'm still the one and only Sherlock Holmes. I'm a detective, the revealer of truth, and the world's first consulting private investigator. I'm also one of the first great detectives that became an archetype for many detective stories to follow. Yeah, exactly what I just said. Which brings its own set of responsibilities. And I have my pride as well. You never did answer my question. You really put on a show of it too, with all that talk of solving cases in the name of justice. But you're still hiding some pretty big secrets, aren't you, Sigerson? Good grief, I suppose it was a fool's errand to hope you'd forget about all that, Madame Blavatsky. Yeah, and I'm afraid I would not forget that either. We still never figured out who figured out, tripping over my own words yet again. We never figured out who summoned him in the first place. Nonetheless, I meant every word I said. I only attempt to solve cases in furtherance of justice in the world. However, you are still correct, I do indeed have secrets. Furthermore, there's still one great mystery regarding me personally that I have yet to solve. Who summoned me in the first... Sigerson? I know. This is the most pressing question I face in this materialization. I'll need to find an answer eventually. Even if it means turning evil? Are you saying you're willing to resort to evil means in pursuit of supposedly just ends? Let me just make sure of one thing. Will Alex consider this to be evil too? Yeah, the fact it's been hinted at, but this kind of makes it clear. Even Sherlock actually, he might have even mentioned it earlier, but yeah, when Surtur and Koinskaya all mention that there's something mixed in with Sherlock Holmes' spirit origin, apparently even he doesn't know what it is, and likewise even doesn't know who summoned him in the first place. So it looks like the reason we don't have those is because he himself doesn't know yet. He's trying to figure it out. And of course, this goes back to Moriarty. While Moriarty definitely is not someone to trust, he does make a good point. And we can always trust the villain there, her to be evil, but what happens when Sherlock Holmes has to face is an impossible choice exactly. Would Master consider this to be evil too? No, he would not. If nothing else, Yelena, I can assure you of that. I am resolutely on humanity's side, and that very much includes Alex. Think of it this way, I'm a detective, one who has always fought for what is right and will continue to do so. Are you sure about that? I am, madam, but if it's not sufficient for you, I'll make you a promise as well. Everything I have told you is the truth. I swear it. And what exactly are you going to swear on, God? Yes, well... I swear it on the site I saw back in the cave in the Himalayas. On the proud final moments of your fulfilled life. Oh ho. So even throwing him to the ground was enough to release his grip on the knife. That last of the Clock Tower's assassins proving quite formidable. Stabbing Elaine in the moment I stepped away from her is as far as you go. I'm going to rob you of every last possibility you hold, so that you can never harm her ever again. No, don't. Coughing up blood with every word, her purple eyes pleaded with me not to kill him. I nod and strike a vital point to knock the assassin unconscious, robbing him only of his current possibilities. Elena, why did this happen? How did it happen? A woman of your abilities should have been able to make short work of a lone assassin the moment he stepped into a cave. No, I won't dwell on what could have been. This is her choice and she made it. Earlier, she was telling me this. Don't kill them, Mr. Sigerson. I want to send them all back home alive if we can. You know, I'm much older than I look, old enough to be a grandmother. I don't have any of my own. I don't think it's right for me to take the lives of people young enough to be my own children and grandchildren. After all, I'm already dead. Adam, you didn't truly die. That was a hoax, remember? She replied. I know, but the moment I cut myself off from the world, I may as well have died for real. Thank you, Mr. Sigerson. No, Sherlock. It's an amazing coincidence we ran into each other here. And again, maybe it was inevitable. I couldn't make sense of what she was saying, but I knew this feeling. As I held her in my arms, I could very much feel everything radiating from her body. Her life force was leaving her. After all she'd accomplished, she was going to die here. Elena. I took her trembling hand in my own, holding it tight. And there I saw it. Perhaps it was the manifestation of some mystic that secretly dwells deep within the Himalayas, or perhaps it was a fleet of silver ships able to cross the sea of stars, envoys of a great transcendent teacher that descended to Earth to be with their favorite disciple in her final moments. Are you seeing this, Sherlock? I am. That light, it's so bright. Or perhaps it was the glitter of the last faint tears running down her cheeks. And it's so easy to get me emotionally invested. Sigerson. Oh, yes? What is it, Yelena? You tell me. Why did you go all quiet? Also, I'm still waiting on a proper answer. What are you gonna swear on? And don't mumble. I can't understand you when you mumble. Swear. On second thought, that's not the sort of thing one should ever repeat. Huh? Haha. Oh. Stop that. Stop, that's smarts. Oh, it's nice to see Foe warming up to you for a change. Oh. Skill rank up. Ooh, decrease the enemy's art's attack resist. That is a very good upgrade. Well, I would say that was very much worth my time, wouldn't you? Very well, we shall do one more with Shershi. The Curse of the Argo. But I think Sherlock's was the really good one. I was gonna end on there, but I got plenty of time to do another one. So let's do it. Oh, I guess I forgot to give my opinion on Sherlock before continuing on. Once again, too. Alright, so before we go with Shershi's. Right? Mostly, with Sherlock's interlude here seems to confirm that siding with humanity includes siding with us, so he does not see it worthwhile to he would not consider it worthwhile to sacrifice us, for example, the rest of humanity, because that would still count as a loss from what we've learned here. Likewise, we have confirmation. He insists that what he is not given any lies to us, so he does not know what the spirit origin is of himself, nor of who summoned him. He's trying to figure those out himself. Said he may do some questionable things, but whatever he does, he doesn't plan on doing anything we would consider evil. It seems like it's entirely possible he could end up sacrificing himself for that. Which is unfortunate, but once the storyline ends, they will probably rotate the cast like they did from part 1 to the part 2. From the Gotia storyline to the Lost Belt storyline. They rotated out basically everyone. After all, they dropped the current leader Romani for Gordolph. They dropped Da Vinci for the small Da Vinci. Yeah, Sherlock did join in the Gotia storyline, but only at the tail end, so he's more of a major character for this one. Well, technically he joined after, because he joined during the Epic of Remnant, which was basically a filler storyline between the Gotia storyline and Lost Belts. But yeah. Now, this still means, because we were bailed out by someone who looked like Romani, but it wasn't him. I think the common fan theory is that it's Gotia, who is no longer a beast monster again, but is now here to help us somehow. He's simply known as the Chaldean, since he claims he's from Chaldea, but we don't know him yet. Which is why many seem to think it's Gotia using King Solomon's body again. Only this time he's not evil, so hopefully he'll help us. But yeah, he said that someone on our side is untrustworthy, and most narrowed it down to Sherlock due to lack of other options. And like I said, untrustworthy and being a traitor are two different things, but it's hard to say, but... let's just go down to Sherlock himself. While he may not know what's going on with himself any more than we do, I do think we can trust him. Or maybe it's more that I want to trust him. Either way, I'll be continuing to do so, holding out hope that he... But I do think he plans on, worst case scenario, sacrificing himself. After all, he does say he's here to help humanity, including us. But as a servant, he's just a familiar that has the memories and knowledge of Sherlock Holmes, so... After all, he did trust us enough to finally reveal that yes, he was a real person in this universe. And his exploits were written by Watson taking the guise of Sir Conan Doyle. A common way of going about it, but all the same, it's nice that we finally get confirmation on it. And that is a sign of trust on his part as well. Alright, now without further ado, let's go to Shirshi. Turns page. Munch, munch. The Greek servants are together. Why are Shirshi and Adelante lounging around Senpai's bed? Maybe not exactly lounging. Shirshi's reading a book. Adelante seems to be lost in some video. Turns page. Holy crap, seriously? What's wrong with people these days? Hey, can you grab those for me? Absolutely not. Toss. Thanks. Man, these sticky note things are great. Hey, what was that person's name again? Huh? How the hell should I know? I'm the Queen Witch, remember? Maybe... Hermaphroditus? Maybe Clytemnestra? Oh, I bet it's Clytemnestra. That's it, I could not remember for the life of me. What is this stuff? Apple chips, they're quite good. If you eat two at once, it changes the flavor. Oh, please, don't be ridiculous. No way they could... Munch, munch. Oh, you're right, munch, munch. Here, Mash, you gotta try these. You got a whole different flavor if you eat two at a time. Okay, thank you. I'll try some. I know I have no real basis for thinking this, but is this what most teenage girls do when they spend time together? You there, witch. What spell of tome are you reading? It's Queen Witch. What a garish cover. The cover is an array of pink and fluorescent hearts. Makes my eyes water. And why is it so thick? Is it meant to be used as a bludgeon? For that weird field trip we went on the other day, I just happened to find this when we stopped by that convenience store. Check out all the bonus stuff they give you with it. Matching aprons, durable oven mitts, and a selfie stick with cupid wings. And, ooh, I'm sensing a lot of magic energy from this special marriage registration in the back. I see. Good for you. Enjoy your reading, then. Shirshi, get up already. Oh, hello, Nido Chris. Thank you for helping Senpai out. Of course, though I must say I didn't expect to come back to such a sad state of affairs. How can you still call yourself a teacher wallowing around like a pig? It's deplorable. All the other witches from the great age of gods would be ashamed of you. Lay off me. What are you, my mother? Of course not. More of a conscientious younger sister. At any rate, I know Medea already talked with you about this too, but make sure you fill out the caster bulletin and put it back where it belongs like we asked you to. Yeah, I got it already. Alright, who's turning to a pig now? Ah, frenzy cleaning. Oh, senpai, we were just changing shifts. You have a break now too, right? Is everything okay, Shirshi? I believe she is panicking about being compared to all the new Greek additions that have shown up as of late. Please do not be too harsh with her. Stop that, don't you look away like that just because you're feeling awkward, Mash. Here, senpai, why don't you have a seat? I'll go make some tea. Thank you, Mash. What are you watching there, Adelante? I couldn't help but notice you've been watching it very intently. I also noticed you're tearing up at times, so I wasn't sure what to say. Oh, this? It's an old video I found in Caldea's library. It's so painful to watch, took my breath away. It tells the story of children who are still too young to attend school, who are forced by their cruel parents to go on a trip to procure supplies. It has everything. Trials, tribulation, tears, twists. I could watch it forever. Is it Made in Abyss? Because Made in Abyss was pretty heavy stuff. Jason's journey to find the Golden Fleece was nothing compared to what these poor children endured. That's really saying something. Aw, come on, that's not fair to Jason. You should know, Adelante, seeing as how you were one of the Argonauts. You have always been too soft when it comes to sailors. That's why you're always so put upon. Ha ha ha. We're sure Shay and Adelante are always such good friends. Good question. Does seem like they get along rather well. Did you hear that? Well, maybe they have a point. We didn't have a lot of contact in our own time, but maybe that had been for the best. I don't suppose you'd tell us about the time you two met. A story from Greek mythology? I'd love to hear it as well. A story about the good old days, huh? I would rather. Fine by me, anything for my darling Piglet. Though it was nothing grand enough to be recorded in poems or stories passed down through the ages. Let's see, our story begins before the Trojan War was a glimmer in anyone's eyes. Oh dang, even more 0 AP. Guess I don't need to use any apples after all. Although I don't grind too hard in this game, so I have more than I could ever use, really. Island. Piglets oink oink, squealing and sobbing. There, I know it hurt. You must have been so scared, but it's okay now. Oh hey, that's Jason in his look from the, from Okeanos. Neat. Sure, she took me. What business does a fame witch have with us? A warning. What else? Listen up, Jason, Captain of the Argo. As long as you're staying on this island, you're free to fish anything you want from the sea or pick any fruit of this land. But do not so lay much as a finger on the island's inhabitants. Remember, this island is my domain. If you or any of your Argonauts break any rules, you'd be lucky to escape with your lives, let alone a repaired boat. Duly noted. Damn, here I thought I'd finally get some steak for the first time in ages. Guess it's back to wyvern jerky. Hey, you two, put those pigs back where you found them. Long time no see, Jason. Huh? What are you talking about? We just saw each other this morning. That goes for you two, Mashea, or whatever your name was. Senpai, when did we become sailors? Does it mean we've joined Jason and become members of the Argonauts now? This is correct. Still, it's quite a shame. Had I known this would happen, I would have strangled this prey on the spot. Wink. So, you're the one who set that trap for my little piglets. Wait, why would you do that after I made Echion to welcome you all? How stupid do you think we are to... How stupid do you think we must be to accept a gift from the Witch of Island at face value? I believe you mean Queen, which... Exactly. We didn't sail all this way to have you poison us and make off with our treasure. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. For one thing, I'd lay a hand on my own brother's treasure. You mean the King of Colchis' most prized possession? No way, you mean the Golden Fleece. None other. After everything my crew and I have been through, you better believe we're going to be on our guard. Though I guess it's no surprise you two wouldn't know that, since you only just joined us. So then, we must be in the middle of the Argo's voyage to bring Golden Fleece back to Colchis. As I recall, during that voyage, Zeus got angry and hurled a tremendous storm at the Argo. Correct. Queen Medea, killing her younger brother, Prince Asperitus, was the catalyst for his wrath. Once he learned of his crime, Zeus fell into a rage. He struck the Argo with lightning, battered it with great waves, plunged into a storm so fierce the keel was nearly torn apart. The only reason we managed to barely survive was my mastery of the sail and rudder, as well as the courage of my loyal Argonauts. I expect Castor and Pollux' pleas must have reached Zeus's ears. So what happened to Medea? She's inside the Argos wreck over on the beach. She shut herself up in their cabin after she killed him and her son and hasn't spoken to anyone since. The only exception she'll make is for a rustra oak from Dodona. Medea Lily. Oh, it's her younger form. And this game really doesn't do much with the adult Medea very much. The oak from Dodona? You mean the talking wood's only found in the land of Zeus's oracle? So she'd rather talk to a piece of lumber than you or your crew? Aren't you ashamed of that? Ooh, right. Technically you're my aunt-in-law, aren't you, Shirshi? And here I still haven't thanked you properly. If you're gonna call me your aunt, then you'd better take good care of Medea. I wouldn't even let you near a island if she hadn't been on your ship. Zeus will eventually get over his rage, but the Argo will still be cursed. It's only a matter of time until you run into more foul weather or stranded somewhere else. Just look at how beat up your ship is. How many times have you wrecked that thing? Forget repairing it, you should throw it away and find a new one. What? Don't be ridiculous, I can't do that. I mean, if we build an entirely new ship out of the pieces of the old Argo, wouldn't it basically just be a new Argo? Wouldn't it just basically just be the same Argo, just new? The Argo is my ship. It's going to guide me back to my home of Thessaly. Now easy there, Jason. Who's that? An impressive clothing has just showed up. Doing such drastic repairs, your ship will in essence become a new vessel. Should that come to pass, would it still be your beloved Argo? Of course I could. It's the only ship worthy of being with me my whole life. I won't let it go, not even if it gets smashed from bow to stern. Of course that's your answer. I suppose that's one way for a hero of the sea to live. Now then, Shirshi, beautiful ruler of Aya Island, goddess of mercy with the wisdom and providence of Artemis. I apologize for not introducing myself sooner. It's a genuine pleasure to make your acquaintance. Oh, well now, I can't remember last time I had someone pay me proper respects, hee. Now who is this? Hang on. Those Ionian looks. The tropical accent and that expensive nation with a pattern reserved strictly for royalty. I know who you are. I think I know your name. You're the King of Athens. Indeed I am. I'm honored you know of me. Right now I'm just Jason's friend and fellow Argonaut. Well, no wonder the Argo's cursed if it's got guys like you aboard. I can't believe you have the guts to show your face before me, Theseus. Theseus, the heroic young king of Athens. And best friend of Asterios, as we all know, thanks to Hades. He's been aboard the Argo this whole time? I believe so. He's the hero who made his way through the labyrinth of Crete and defeated the Minotaur. Hero, huh? Yeah, maybe. Theseus did help my sister Pasiphae wrap up one of her loose moral ends. After he escaped from the labyrinth, I heard he took her daughter, my niece, Prince Ariadne, who was, I would add, the spitting image of her mother, as his bride. And yet, for some reason, I haven't heard anything more about her since that happened. Not a peep. Instead, all I've heard is the King of Athens recently welcomed a new queen to his palace. Why is that, Theseus? What was so wrong with Ariadne that she couldn't be your queen? Still love her even now. I'm more grateful to her than you know. Unfortunately, she had no intention of bearing me an heir. As a man, I couldn't accept that choice. I could accept that choice and respect it, but as King of Athens, this created a problem I have to solve. Much as I wish it weren't, it's part of my kingly duty, and I'm sorry. Yeah. I swear, what is it about my family that makes heroes everywhere just want to mess with us? That's enough, Theseus. Step down. I'm plenty calm now. I trust you understand why I didn't want you and Shirshi running into each other. Yes, I do, Jason. I'm sorry for overstepping my bounds. I'll get back to supervising repairs on the Argo. Shirshi, Queen Witch, it is too soon for you to lose hope and curse us. You have Medea. She speaks of you often and clearly has fond memories of you as her teacher. And right now, Medea wants nothing more than to see the Argo's voyage completed. I know she's not here asking for your help, but I also know what she wants. Indeed, Atalanta is absolutely right, Shirshi. So I ask you now, as leader on the Argonauts, please help us return to the sea. For my wife, for Medea's sake as much as ours. The animosity between what happened between Jason and Medea is pretty legendary. It's also pretty complicated to go over here, but yeah. Suffice to say, Jason is absolutely kind of a dick. Then again, I guess that's part of what makes him human. I guess my bloodline's just fated to be a plaything of gods and heroes alike. I actually did not care a great deal about all that. I only wish that Medea's twisted romance would hurry and end so she might find happiness again. So then, sure, she did go on to honor Jason's request and help the Argonauts. I'm impressed Jason pulled that off. Talk about a model here. Oh, so what happened next? According to the myth, the Argo continued its voyage for some time after that, correct? Indeed, and that's exactly what happened. However, sure, she was dead set on getting Medea to resolve the situation for herself. She kept trying to wake her up to the disaster she invited and faced up to. Sure, she was dead set on getting Medea to resolve the situation. She kept trying to wake her up from the disaster she invited and face up to it. At least that's what you were trying to do, was it not? Yeah, it was. Not that it did any good. My former pupil refused to see me, even after I came to the Argo in person. She refused to open up and wouldn't let anyone besides Jason come near her. Honestly, I'm not even sure Jason's attempts to console her got through. Eventually, I just end up waving my wand to dispel the Argo's curse. Ooh, we have an actual fight this time. I might be able to use her and Shirshi for this. That way it's very double-fitting. Fortunately, Shirshi herself isn't very strong. First of all, mine's only NP1, which limits how strong she can be. More important than that, Shirshi is usually used for stun locking comps, not for damage. Because her damage just isn't there for blunt. Where's mine? She's a 4-star caster. Where is she? I might have not leveled her, I guess. Maybe she's down here. Oh, she's here. I thought I got her to Final Ascension. Oh, you know what? I bet it's because she uses some very annoying maths. Yeah, if she uses some materials that I need either for Castoria or someone else, because I did just spend a ton of mats for the servant I got from the 5-star ticket. Actually, I can show who that was before right now. Yep. Samo no Mai. While Castoria does mostly replace her, I can use the two together for good effect. Not to mention, she has herself a party NP strength buff, which Castoria cannot offer. So if I need to do some extra damage, I can just plug her in and do some nice buffing. So yeah, that was my logic in this choice. But she also devoured bones like no tomorrow. I had absolutely 0, but as you can see, I did successfully get her to 10, 10, 10, which I'm feeling pretty happy about. But yeah, bones and dust I'm completely out of, so if sure she requires either, I likely didn't pay because of that. There we go, we have the Argo crew. Alright, listen up, brave Argonauts. Let's go over the dispelling ritual one more time. This elixir I whipped up will make some ephemeral concepts corporal for a short time. Once you sprinkle it over the hull, it'll make the curse something can touch, or more to the point, hit. If you can defeat the curse before the elixir's effects run out, the Argo should be free of it for good. But be warned, if you fail to defeat it, it'll get even stronger and come back to haunt the ship with a vengeance. So the curse will take the form of a monster, huh? I suppose it being only one monster would be too much to hope for. If not, that's where Theseus will come in. Now that Heracles is gone, there's no one else in the crew who can match his might. Are you nuts? I'd rather die than ask Theseus for help. So before it comes to that, I'm willing to lend a hand myself. You, for real? Are you sure you even know how to fight, Grandma? You're the last person I want to hear that from. I think it's wonderful that you'll be joining the fray. I only hope the ship doesn't get wrecked again now that it's almost repaired. Also, there's some ominous clouds making their way to this island. If the seas start acting up, there's no telling what might happen to the ship. It's the curse pulling those storm clouds here. How's that a surprise? Of course the gods aren't going to be thrilled about this, you jag-off. Nonetheless, I swear to Hecate that your sails will be filled with wind again. Now come, Jason, grab your sword and help us. Grab my sword? I got my hands full keeping Medea's cabin safe. Are you serious? It's your ship. Are you sincerely dedicated to being complete? You are sincerely dedicated to being a complete dick, aren't you? It's nothing new for him. If any monsters try to escape, I will take care of them. Alex Mashea, I would appreciate your help as well. Right, I'll be glad to. Alright, I'm worried about Medea. There, now that I've finished this bottle of wine, let's get to the beach and do this thing. Okay, Argonauts, go forth and get our home back. Here we are.
標的を確認した。仕留める。
こういうのどうだ？
The curse turned into giant hermit crabs because that's all the only models they had. In fact, even Theseus is invisible because he doesn't have any sprites or anything in this game. Although, that does remind me, I am surprised they never made Theseus a servant in this game. He seems like an obvious choice. They could have a lot of chemistry with Asterius and the others. I need NP gain up if I'm going to use Adelante for this, because mine is only NP 1.
あれだな。古きルーン。こういうこともできる。
I should probably be saving this for Wave 3, but where's the fun in that?
わかった。
Only one turn, sheesh. I kinda wish Hunter's aesthetic would get a buff, but since Adelante was one of the premier Scotty loopers, the devs have been hesitant to buff her, so maybe now that
いいだ。わかった。
that's not such an issue anymore, they can finally give it a buff. While power creep is relatively low in this game, it does happen. There we are. Oh, excellent. 62% refund. The Skeleton King.
どれにしようかな。
Yeah, 72 stars. That's Adelante's power in a nutshell.
よし。
Full quick power.
二大神に立てまする。
On that note, I do worry that Scotty might be power crept whenever they introduce a new quick buffer who's actually intended for looping, but I guess I can cross that bridge when I come to it. Alright, we'll start with Scotty here, and then use Adelante to finish off Skeleton King.
ささやかに。
Here we are. Yeah, Hunter's Aesthetic doesn't really do much because if you use Adelante's NP properly, you basically are guaranteed over 50 crit stars, which
二大
means
神に立てまする。
you're guaranteed all attacks will crit next turn. Really?
ささやかに。
Ah, there we go. Oh, dang.
遅すぎる。それではついてこれまい。
There we are. Oh, nice. The weeklies are all done as well. Convenient. Du-du-du-du-du. I'll just gather these while we're here then.
描き方も惰性で達成感が失う。ふと興味。
Ah! There, that takes care of all the monsters on the deck. Now we just need to take care of the ones in the hold. What are your orders, Jason? Well, I'm afraid... Jason got hit by a barrel of apples and got knocked out. Again? Very well, then we'll have to finish this ourselves. Shirshi? So you've finally shown yourself before me. Huh? Medea is commanding the curse monsters? What is the meaning of this, Medea? Hello, Shirshi, Atlante, did you come here to laugh at me while I was bawling my eyes out? Or perhaps admonish me for my sins? Medea. No, nothing like that. I'm here to celebrate the new chapter of your life. New chapter? Just as I will never again be seen as merely a priestess. Medea, you too have become a woman to be feared as a witch. So of course you're gonna mess with other people's lives, something fierce. You can't help it. You're a witch. Go ahead and seduce any man you want, and toss him aside when you're done. That's one of the best parts of being a witch, you know. You should be proud you're worth that. Although I gotta say, you don't look all that happy about this to me. I can see you're smiling while we stand here, but I can also tell you're crying on the inside, and I have to say I don't like that. These curses come from me. They're my sins made manifest. So I'll take them with me when I go. I cannot let you get away with that, Medea. Those curses will not stop until they sink the ship. Medea. How many times must I tell you to learn medicinal arts too, Medea? Kate's medicinal arts don't just heal the body. They have a powerful effect on the heart too. But only if you spend time devoting yourself to the study of how the heart works while learning them. If you do that, it's a wonderful way to tame the monsters lurking in your heart. For a disciple of Hekate, I've got to say I'm disappointed in myself for releasing such a half-assed witch into the world. That's exactly why I didn't want to take on an apprentice in the first place. But now that we're here, I guess the scuffle's as good as any to teach you one last lesson. Honestly, I think I'm going to want to do this.
わかった
Yeah, I'd rather deal damage with Atalante's skills.
罠だ。
Ooh, a brave chain from Arash. That's something you don't see often. Here we are. Medea Lily. Why is she on wave 2 and not 3?
こういうのどうだ？
Well, she's not going to be too difficult to defeat, I can tell you that much. Oh, dang. Dang it, of course she's just a bit still on. Medea Lily's NP is not a damage NP, it just heals and cures status effects. So I am 100% sure we're 100% sure it's not a threat.
ささやかな
She was a premier white mage for a while, but nowadays most use Slapius. Adult Medea. Adult Medea does have a damage NP, but it's very low damage because, well, to be blunt, she can spam it, and they were really scared of NP spam back in year 1 when she was first designed. Fortunately, she does suffer for being a year 1 servant, that's for sure.
いいだろう狩りの時だわかった
Here we go.
せい
Phobos Catastrophe.
二大神に立てまつるフォーバスカタストロフェはっくらえ苦しんでもらうかしら絶望なさい
Yeah, that was, not especially threatening, but I can do this. I should definitely give her Discerning Eye so that her crit damage is up.
他にやること
Here
ない
we are.
の？
いいだまかよし
Quick brave chain.
二大師に立てま
If
し
this doesn't finish Medea, the chain afterward will. It's only in P1, but it's still something.
とくらえ
Atlante has a bit of low attack because she's designed to be critting often.
こ
There
れ
we
で
are.
も勝ちは勝ちだよな
You are complete 90 interludes. So, what happened in the Argo then? Nothing, Piglet. There were no more mishaps, happenings, or even minor inconveniences worth mentioning after that. Argonauts defeated every last monster on board the ship and dispelled Medea's self-destructive curse. After that, I thanked them through a big Kekion farewell party and sent them on their merry way. And you already know the rest from the myth. Alright, you have your own stuff to take care of, right, Master? Go on then, get out of here. That's it for today's Kekion party. I'm sure I do appreciate you telling us the story, but you're sitting on Senpai's bed. Hey, where do you think you're going with that pillow? Put it back. Don't click your tongue at me. Sulcum. I've rarely seen your lips so loose, Falcon Witch. Never expected you to discuss your past in such detail. Well, so what? Felt like it, so I did. That's all water under the bridge for Medea and me, anyway. Oh, what is it? Why are you looking at me like that? Let us say, hypothetically, you encountered the hero of your dreams once more. What would you do? What kind of stupid question's that? I'm merely curious. I have no experience with romance myself. As such, I cannot imagine what it is to be driven mad by it like Medea was. Granted, the odds of that happening are vanishingly small, so likely it's not worth considering. Oh, I wouldn't say that. I'm not the same old Shirshi I used to be. You don't really think I'd make the same mistake all over, do you? In fact, you got the whole thing back asswards. He's the one that would end up falling for me, the Queen Witch. Now who's falling for who now? Wah! Oh, Piglet, where'd you come from? Don't scare me like that. Oh, you're just going to the bathroom? I can't go in your own room because you feel like someone's watching you. Kind of an overshare, isn't it? Go on, get out of here. You. So you would make him fall in love with you. You're nothing if not confident, which if I am. Hell yeah, I am. Still, that said, if I'd just stayed a hermit out on my island, I'd never have learned to be so recklessly confident. So I'm grateful to my master for that. That's nice, Munch Munch. What? Hey, you're the one who startled. Isn't it kind of rude for you to just shut down like that? He didn't really care after all. The Oak of Dodona once told me something while it let me listen to the ocean wind through its knothole. It said that people would paddle from far from overseas and drop an anchor deep within your heart. Divine prophecy, huh? Ever heard of a piece of wood being an oracle? Is it a dryad or something with a direct hotline to the gods or something? Anyways, that said, I hope it's right. Wherever the tree gets its info from, I'm definitely a fan of this prophecy. I know there's a much better guy for you out there. Jason might have the makings of a hero, but he's got a long way before... Auntie, the prophecy was about you. What? Hey, Tree, who told you could go about making predictions about my future, huh? Oak also said that a hero you would never forget would visit Island one day. Stop that, I'm the Queen Witch, remember? This isn't funny, I'm a disciple of Hecate herself. No way I'm letting Zeus pull that kind of stunt. Of course. Hey, Medea, look. Sailors are praying to Zephyr as we speak. It won't be long before you set sail again. Wait, they had hotlines back then? Well, my defiant disciple, this is the last piece of advice I have for you. Stay on my island. Argo's curse is gone. I've washed away its stain. The Argonauts can handle the rest of their journey without you, and nobody from Colchis would ever come looking for you here. Sorry, Auntie, but I can't do... Ah, you saw what happened for yourself, right? Jason needs me. Besides, I don't want to be just a footnote in history like Ariadne. See, well, I guess there's nothing left but to say goodbye. I guess not. Take care of yourself, Auntie. Even though I'll be staying on, I pray you'll find the kind of love that would make me insanely jealous. Never change, do you? Aw, that was sweet. Especially since they used the adult Medea for it. sure she's been updated. Falcon wings are an article of clothing, but also part of her body connected to her magical circuits. Oh. Famous witch who lives in the mythological island of A. Here she appears in Homer's epic The Odyssey. As a descendant of Hecate, she is a demigod of both moon and love. Being quite the science buff, she is well versed in mixing magical elixirs that cause various effects and transformations. She is shot for extending a warm welcome to the human men who visit her island, entertaining them with feasts, but then turning them into lions, wolves, pigs, and other animals as soon as she grow weary of them. World of the 80s. Medea's father, the king of, and her younger sister, Pasiphae, a mother of Asterios, wife of king of Minos of Crete. Likes flawed human men who rely on her to serve a barley drink. Dislikes when men get tired of her being completely protected by others. She cut off her gorgeous hair that even Homer praised for its beauty after her heart was broken. She was approached by the sea god Glaucus for romantic advice, but fell in love with him herself. After he rejected her, she transformed his love Scylla into a monster in a fit of jealousy. Scylla later ate six of Odysseus's crew. Odysseus stopped by the island of Aea on his way home and was offered a poison barley drink, but he managed to break free of her magic with the divine protection of Hermes. This impressed Circe, and when it was time for Odysseus to leave, she gave him helpful advice to avoid trouble. Wish upon the Grails for the hero to return and visit Aea once more. Ultimately, she wants to tell him the words she couldn't bring herself to say in person. That is all. That was a nice one. It was mostly just a recap of Circe's story, but I think it was a good one. Alright, well, I guess that'll be all for now. Those were some very interesting interludes, and I'm especially fond of the Sherlock one for obvious reasons, but I liked all of them. Alright, I guess that'll be good for now. Until next time, thank you for watching, hope you had a good time, and I'll see you later.